Sweet! Wrestle Toilet Review, I'm your man, Steele, and today I have a very special review for you because it finally came in, and that is from HasLab Transformers Legacy Liokaiser. Transformers Legacy Liokaiser. But before I get to the actual review, I just want to go over some of the awesome details on this packaging. Up here in the top corner you have the Transformers Generations emblem. The other corner you have the Transformers Legacy logo. There you have a beautiful illustration of Liokaiser, and below that you have each one of the Task Force members, starting with Drillhorn, Gaiahawk, Elbat, Leozak, Jaruga, Kill Bison, and Death Cobra. Below that it says Tatakai Choroboto Semetai, which means Battle Super Robot Life Form. Down here it says Transformers Victory, and below that it says Liokaiser. Next to that you have 15 plus, which is age required for this figure. In the corner you have the Hasbro emblem. The top of the packaging here, you have an actual picture of the figure in his Leozak mode. And next to that again it says Tatakai Choroboto Semetai Transformers Victory Liokaiser. Then on the side of the packaging here, on the very top here again, you have Tatakai Choroboto Semetai Transformers Victory Liokaiser. Alongside this is Transformers. And over here, each one of the individual Transformers members, starting with Drillhorn, Gaiahawk, Hellbat, Leozak, Jaruga, Kill Bison, and Death Cobra. The other side of the packaging here, over here again you have Tatakai Choroboto Semetai Transformers Victory Liokaiser. And over here you have a picture of individual figures, both in the robot mode and in the vehicle mode, starting with Leozak, Gaiahawk, Kill Bison, Jaruga, Drillhorn, and Elbat. Then on the back of the packaging here, on the very top, once again you have Tatakai Choroboto Semetai Transformers Victory Liokaiser. Mainly of all the figures features of Liokaiser in his combined mode, Liokaiser with Death Cobra as his left arm, Liokaiser with Death Cobra as his cannon, and over here have Death Cobra both in his robot mode and in his vehicle mode. Over here you have the HasLab logo, below you have the Takara logo, middle here you have More Than Meets the Eye Authentic logo, and in the corner you have the Hasbro emblem. Next, we're going to go ahead and unbox Liokaiser. First I'm going to grab my trusty scissors, and at the very top here, I have this piece of tape right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little slit in the top here. I'm going to run my fingers across the tape because I don't want to damage the packaging too much. I don't do any scrapes or scratches with the scissors. Get this little flap here, pull it down, and it looks like it reveals a bunch of little drawers here, which is really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out this first drawer. It says it's drawer number 2. And in drawer number 2, it looks like you have a little box here. First you have the Transformers logo in the front here. You have the Hasbro emblem in the corner here. Then you have HasLab right here. You have number 2. And I think that's about it. You have this little number right here, 60761. And again you have the HasLab logo and you have number 2 here. So I'm going to go ahead and open this first drawer. It looks like you have the instructions right here. Looks like you have this display stand and pieces of the nunchucks. Really nice. You got some little arrows right here. I'm going to go ahead and put this off to the side. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull out, looks like drawer number, I don't think they're numbered actually. There's a little insignia right here. Looks like I'm guessing that's number 1. But again, you have Transformers in the front here. Corner here, you have the Hasbro logo. Again, you have HasLab right there. You have that weird insignia in the corner here. You have HasLab again. You have that weird insignia here. And this time you have 60751 in the front here. Open up that box. And it looks like you have some of the jets. You have Gaiahawk, Leozak, and looks like, I don't know what the other guy's name is. Elbat, I'm sorry. That's Elbat, Leozak, and Gaiahawk. And you have some of his chest force figures, and in Japan they're called breast force figures. All 6 of them are there, or all 7 of them are there. You have the Cobra, you have the Bat, you have Gaia-Hox, you have Leozax. Pretty cool. You also have this little blaster right there. We'll put this off to the side. There's a next drawer right here. It looks like kind of like a 4. I'm gonna guess this is number 4. I'm gonna pull that one out. It's a little bit smaller, but I'm guessing it's one of the other members of the Chest Force team. If you have Jaruga and looks like Kill Bison in this one. Very, very cool. And looks like you have a midsection piece right here, which might be part of Jaruga right there. I'm not too sure, but we'll find out when I put this all together. In the final last box right here, you have this one right here. I don't know what the insignia is supposed to be. Again, you have Transformers, you have the Hasbro emblem, you have HasLab. I don't see any Takara Tomy logos on these boxes. But you open it up, you have Death Cobra and Drillhorn here. Pretty cool. You have the copter blade there. I don't know what that is. It looks like a fist or a missile or a blast of some sort. Very, very cool. Transformers Legacy HasLab Liokaiser. Liokaiser is a crowdfunded project which ran from February 7th, 2025 until March 24th, 2025. To fund this project, it cost $299.99 and it required a minimum of 10,000 backers. Liokaiser was successfully funded with 23,553 backers, which unlocked 3 bonus tiers. The first tier was unlocked at 13,000 backers, and this tier included Death Cobra. The second tier was unlocked with 16,000 backers, and this tier unlocked the electromagnetic nunchucks. The third tier was unlocked at 18,000 backers, and this tier included the display stand. This project began shipping to backers on May 15, 2025. Liokaiser is a HasLab production inspired by the Japanese anime Transformers Victory. His accessories include Leozac, Gaia-Hox, Hellbat, Jaruga, Kill Bison, Drillhorn, and Death Cobra. Each figure includes a removable chest animal that converts to a weapon along with the instruction booklet. Liokaiser stands 12 inches tall and he is meant for fans ages 15 and up. Now I'm going to go ahead and convert Leozac from his vehicle mode all the way to his robot mode. First step of that transformation, we'll turn Leozac all the way around here. You have these tabs right there and right there. You have a hinge right there and right there. You want to take this tab now, you want to flip it to the side just like that. We're going to do it to the other side, that other tab, and flip it over just like that. So step number 2, you want to flip Leozac over. You have this landing gear right here. You want to take that landing gear, you want to push it all the way in just like that. So step number 3, you have Leozac's wings right there and right there. You have a hinge right there and right there. You want these wings, you want to flip them all the way up just like that. Do that to the other side, the other wing, and flip it all the way up just like that. So step number 4, you have these panels right there and right there. You have a hinge right there and right there. You want to take that panel now, you want to flip it all the way down just like that. Do that to the other side, the other panel, flip it all the way down just like that. Then step number 5, you have these wings back here. You have a hinge right there and right there. You want to take this wing, you want to bring it up just like that. Do that to the other side, the other wing, and flip it up just like that. Then step number 6, you want to take the nose cone right here. You have a hinge right there. You want to take that nose cone, you want to flip it all the way up just like that. And you have this little tab right here. You have a little porthole. You want to go and push it in just like that. Then step number 7, you have these 2 panels right there and right there. You have a hinge right there and right there. You want to take these 2 panels, you want to go and push them in just like that. Then step number 8, you want to flip Leozac all the way around. You have this headpiece right here. Look at that headpiece. You want to turn all the way around just like that. Then step number 9, you have Leozac's arms right there and right there. You want to take his arms, you want to untap away from the wing just like that. Do that to your side, you want to take that little arm piece and untap it from the wing just like that. Then step number 10, you have Leozac's fist right there and right there. You want to take his fist, you want to swing him out just like that. Do that to your side, the other fist, and swing it out just like that. Then step number 11, you have these hip panels right there and right there. You have a hinge right there and right there. This is what you're going to take the hip panels now and untap them from the body just like that. You're going to do that to the other hip panel and untap it from the body just like that. To the 12th and final step, you have Leozac's legs right here. We'll untap his legs just like that, and now you have Leozak in this full robot mode. Now that Leozak in his vehicle mode, and on my display table, let's move over some of his plate features and accessories. First of all, I talk about his chest animal. And Leozak is part of a sub-team called Chest Force. In Japan they were called Breast Force, but the name was changed for obvious reasons. And the gimmick behind that team was they had these little chest plates that convert to little animals. And according to my Japanese instructions for my Japanese set, this figure's name is Lion Blast, which is really cool. And he does convert into a chest plate. The first step of that transformation, you have the head right here. You want to push the head in and the tail in. Step number 2, you have this little piece in the center here. You want to pull that piece out just like that. And step number 3, you have these legs right here. You want to do the front legs first. You want to go and push them back just like that. And just like that. You want to do the hind leg now. Push him in just like that, and just like that, and now you have Lion Blast as Leozak's chest piece right here. And since he's in jet mode, there's no need for a chest piece, but there is a way to store him in vehicle mode. You do that because you have that little 5mm peg right here, that 5mm porthole right here. Just plug that in just like that, and now you have Lion Blast stored on Leozak while he's in his vehicle mode. Very cool. Pretty cool vehicle mode. Very, very big. These are Voyager class size figures, which is worth the price of that $299 that you had for that funding of this project, which is very impressive. I mean, his jet mode is not perfect. Out of the 7 figures that you get, his alt mode is not the best out of the 7 of the figures that you get. And an alt mode is anything that's not the robot mode. So this is a vehicle mode, an animal mode. In this case, I think this is considered a jet mode. Very, very nicely done. I mean, it is what it is, and a lot of collectors are only going to keep this figure combined in the Liokaiser mode. But I'm going to go ahead and bring my Generation 1 version of Leozak in, do a side-by-side comparison. As you see, a little bit of a difference in the color scheme. I mean, with the original Leozak, he's kind of more of a bluish green right here. I mean, it's a nicely done figure. I mean, I believe it's based on an F-15 plane jet. And the nice thing about this version of Leozak is you have these wings that kind of be adjustable. It's an attack mode or in flight mode, which is very nicely done. You kind of have that with this version of Leozak, where the wings do come in and out. And I love the paint scheme right here. It looks like a sticker, but it's actually painted on. It's very, very nicely done. I love the detail here. You got like a lot of the mold detail right here. I mean, you flip it over, you do see, you know, the chest panel right here. You see Lion Blast right here in his chest mode. And the nice thing is they actually give you the option of having landing gears, which was a design element that did carry over from the original figure. Just so nicely done. But I'm going to rotate these around so you see the similarities, differences, and a lot of design elements did carry over from the original figure. But you have to remember there's a lot of engineering done with this figure. But you want to keep it cartoon accurate. I mean, the jet mode kind of suffered out of all 3 modes. But I mean, the robot mode and the Leozak mode, or Liokaiser mode, is just fantastic. But I'm really, really glad the set came out. I don't really think it needed to be a HasLab project because I think they would have released it in the main line. A lot of fans would have actually bought this set here. I'm not sure if it's just too expensive to produce as a regular mainline figure. I'm gonna go put this figure off to the side. And this figure just is nice. It's very bulky, but the Liokaiser mode is just simply fantastic. Now that Leozak in this robot mode and on my display table, I once again want to go over some of his play features and accessories. First of all, I talk about his chest animal. And like I told you earlier on, according to my Japanese instructions, that chest animal's name is actually Lion Blast. You guys should convert Lion Blast into a blaster too, so he's kind of a triple changer of sort. You do that by the first step, unplugging him from Leozak's chest. And in the second step, you have Lion Blast's tail right there. You want to go take that tail and flip it out, and it kind of becomes like a barrel of the blaster. So now you got the handle right here. The handle here is actually a 5mm peg. Each one of his fists is a 5mm porthole. You take that blaster and plug it right into his fist just like that. And now you have Leozak armed with his blaster. Very, very cool. And I think it's really cool that they have, like, they're trying to incorporate maybe something like back in the day, Soundwave had those cassettes that came out of his chest. And I think that was such a popular gimmick that they incorporated that. And like I mentioned earlier on, in Japan, this is referred to as Breast Force, this team. But for very obvious reasons, they had to convert the name or change the name or localize it to Chest Force in the United States or internationally. But in order to convert the blaster back into the chest piece, you just do the opposite. The tail piece flip it right into the body just like that. Get that 5mm peg in the middle. In the center of the body here, you have that 5mm porthole. Let's go and plug in that chest plate just like that. And now you have Liokaiser with Lion Blast stored as his chest piece. Very, very nicely done. Really nicely done figure. I mean, he's very faithful to the anime model from the Japanese anime series Transformers Victory. I mean, they took some design elements from the original Generation 1 toy, but they made him more menacing looking, and they did alter some and kind of like exaggerated some stuff to make him look very menacing. Then I actually have the actual Generation 1 toy on hand to do a side-by-side comparison, and you gotta forgive me, he's a little bit yellow, and he's been in storage for a very long time. I think I bought this figure in the late 90s, which was in great shape. It was mint. I mean, you can see a lot of the rusting in the screws right there, but you gotta forgive him because he's been in storage for so long, and he's just happy to see the light of day. But do a side-by-side comparison, you can see some of the design elements. You see Lion Blast as his chest plate, and they altered Lion Blast a little bit. They changed the color scheme to more match the color scheme from the anime model from Transformers Victory. I love the new head sculpt here because they did kind of do the helmet with the lion sculpt around his helmet there, but it's more detailed with the Victory version. I mean, this is a total upgrade, and like I said earlier on, I think this could have been actually produced as a mainline figure, but maybe Hasbro and Takara didn't have enough faith in the Transformers Victory brand to see that it was sold, because I mean, Star Saber's a very, very popular character, and I think that figure would have sold very well as a mainline figure too. I mean, there's a lot of other figures they could have, you know, committed to a HasLab project, but I think Liokaiser could have been one figure that could have been sold to the masses. But I'm gonna go ahead and put my Generation 1 off to the side. I'm going to talk about this figure. This figure has a lot of great detail, lots of points of articulation. I mean, it is a Voyager class figure. I mean, you got knee articulation, you got toe articulation, you got elbow, you got biceps, you got elbow swivel, you got shoulder, you got head. I mean, lots of points of articulation. But if I bring back in the Generation 1 version of Liokaiser, I mean, he has some points of articulation. I mean, by this point in time, this is already like 1990, I believe, or late 80s. So, I mean, there's some improvements in engineering. There's I mean, he can sit down now, and some points of articulation, but it hasn't really vastly improved. I mean, you got 40 years of engineering and trial and error, so I mean, that's why you're able to produce a figure like this now. But so nicely done. But let me go ahead and rotate around so you see the similarities and differences on your own. A lot of design elements did carry over. I mean, you see the cockpit right here did fold down, the wings fold up, legs come out. Lots of similarities between the two transformations. I know with the original Generation 1 version, transformations are very simple. There's only like a couple of flips and pulls here. Here, I mean, there's only 12 steps of transformation, which I believe is 12 steps. It's just a fantastic figure altogether. Now, I'm going to go ahead and convert Skyhawk from his vehicle mode all the way to his robot mode. In the first of the transformation, you have Skyhawk wings right there, right there, right there, and right there. You have a hinge joint right there, right there, right there, and right there. And with these wing pieces, you want to flip them up just like that, just like that, just like that, and just like that. So step number 2, you want to flip over Skyhawk, and you have his feet right there and right there. You have a hinge joint right there and right there. You want to take his foot now, you want to flip it up just like that, do that to the other foot, and flip it over just like that. So step number 3, you have this back assembly right here. This back assembly, you want to go ahead and untab it just like that. Kind of separates the midsection from the leg piece right there. So step number 4, you have this little thruster in the back here. You have a hinge joint right there. With that thruster now, you want to flip it out just like that. It kind of reveals a fist right there. So step number 5, you have that bottom piece right there. You want to go into this bottom piece, you want to go ahead and untap it and separate it from each other just like that. So step number 6, you want to take the right panel right here, this right side right here. You want to flip it out, you have this thigh piece right here, and you want to take that fist, make sure that fist goes right into the leg, just like that. Step number 7, the other part right here, on the inside of the leg piece right here, you have this little panel. You want to flip that panel open, you want to do the same thing to the other side. You want to take this leg piece, you want to bring it out, you want to take that thigh piece, you want to bring it out, and you want to go ahead and tab that leg piece in just like that. You want to go ahead and close this panel up just like that. So step number 8, you want to take these leg pieces now, we'll go ahead and bring them in just like that. So step number 9, get that landing gear right here. With this landing gear here, we'll push it right into the nose cone just like that. So step number 10, you want to flip over Skyhawk. You have a hinge joint right there. I'm going to take this whole cockpit piece or nose cone piece right here. You have a tab right there. You have a porthole right there. You want to flip it and tab it right into place just like that. Step number 11, you're going to flip over Gaia-Hawk. You have Gaia-Hawk's head right there. You want to take his head. You want to rotate it all the way around just like that. So step number 12, you have Gaia-Hawk's arms right there and they're tabbed into place. You want to bring them out just like that. Because in the 13th and final step, inside the forearm right here, you have a fist. You have a hinge joint right there. You want to do that fist, you want to flip it out of the forearm just like that. Do that to the other fist, flip right out of the forearm just like that. And now you have Gaia-Hawk in his full robot mode. You have Gaia-Hawk in his vehicle mode. And on my display table, let's go over some of his plate features and accessories. First, I talk about his chest animal. And this chest animal's name is Hawk Blast according to the Japanese instruction. Or to convert Hawk Blast into his chest panel, which gets stored on Gaia-Hawk while he's in his jet mode. You do that by flipping in the wings just like that. You flip the head in just like that. Bottom of Hawk Blast, you have this little 5mm peg right there. Flip Gaia-Hawk over. On the very bottom, you have a 5mm porthole. You just plug Hawk Blast right in just like that. And now you have Hawk Blast, his chest animal, stored on Gaia-Hawk while he's in his vehicle mode. Very cool. And this one's a much cleaner looking jet mode. And I think this is also an F-15 if I'm not mistaken. It's very, very nicely done. And a lot of great mold detail here. I mean, it is what it is. You have the landing gear detail that does retract, goes in and out, which is really, really nice detail. On the bottom here, you can see Hawk Blast right there. It's a very nicely done figure. It's very bulky. Again, another Voyager class figure. And I do have the Generation 1 version of Gaia-Hawk, do a side-by-side comparison. This one's a nicely done jet too. I mean, a lot of design elements did carry over from the two figures, as you can see. I mean, you got the orange cockpit here, and I did not notice that, but there's a piece of tape holding my Decepticon insignia on right there. I'm not sure if I did that or if I bought it that way, but I just noticed that. It's going to kind of bother me, so I'm going to have to go ahead and figure out what happened there. But I have the sticker detail right here, and you got the paint detail for the wings here. It's very, very nicely done. You got a lot of great mold detail here, just such a nicely done figure. But we're going to rotate them around so you can see a lot of the similarities and differences on your own, and a lot of design elements did carry over from the original figure. Just nicely done figure. And again, like I mentioned earlier on with Leozak, this figure's been in storage for a long time. I don't see a lot of yellowing. Like, there's a gray plastic here. Didn't really yellow too bad. So this figure did survive the test of time. You may see some screws right here where it's a little rusted. But again, this figure's been in storage for a very long time. But I'm just very happy with this version of Gaia-Hawk. It's really nicely done. Very nicely done F-15 jet, if that's what it's based on. You have the thrusters in the back here. You have this right here, and I know there's a little bit of engineering where, I mean, one of the modes has to suffer, and it doesn't really suffer too badly in the jet mode. Fantastic robot mode, and he looks great in Liokaiser mode, but I mean, just all three modes all together are just really nicely done. This figure is a really nicely done figure, and I feel that this figure could have been released as an individual mainline figure, but I mean, maybe next time Hasbro and Takara have more faith in some of their Japanese properties and just bring it right over, just like Road Caesar. And I'm hoping Road Caesar will either get a HasLab soon, or they'll take the risk and maybe release them as a mainline figure, because combiners are very popular sets. And I know a lot of fans would have probably collected this set, the Chest Force set, just to have another combiner in their collection. Now that Gaia-Hawk in his robot mode, and on my display table, I once again want to go over some of his play features and accessories. First of all, I talk about his chest animal. Like I told you earlier on, his chest animal's name is Hawk Blast. And you can also convert Hawk Blast into a blaster by untabbing him from the chest. And there's really no conversion because the little peg holding him to the chest piece is already the handle of the blaster. Each one of his fists is a 5mm porthole. That 5mm peg right there is plugged out right into his fist just like that. And now you have Gaia-Hawk armed with his blaster, because the tail here actually has a couple of barrels right there. Very, very nicely done. But I'm going to take this blaster and put it right back into his chest. So I just want to show you guys how great this figure is. This figure is a fantastic figure. It looks more complete with the chest plate on, or the chest animal on. I love the mold detail right here where you have the sculpt where you can tell it is a hawk piece right there. And I love the chest force gimmick is nicely done, especially with the Decepticons, because every one of the Decepticons in this series, or most of the major Decepticons, have a gimmick where their chest panel does convert into an animal and a weapon. I think that's really cool because it kind of It's like a nod to Soundwave, where the Soundwave gimmick with the cassette tapes were very popular. But by the time the series came out, cassette tapes were kind of passé. You know, the world moved on to CDs at that point in time. So the only way you could really incorporate a gimmick like that is doing this, and I thought that worked very, very well in Japan. But this figure is just so nicely done, and it's very faithful to the animated model from Transformers Victory. I mean, even the head sculpt right there kind of has that hawk look to it, where the helmet has like a beak look to it, and you get that little, there's some eye detail right there, where you get the hawk eyes right there, and you get that fin on the top. Very, very nicely done. I love the gimmicks behind each one of these figures. It's just too bad it wasn't really fully appreciated, and I really would desire this figure if it was in the mainline collection, because I mean, being HasLab, it makes it so limited, and not all the fans can appreciate how great these figures are so far. But I mean, lots of points of articulation. You have like the knee articulation, you have the hip swivel, you have the waist. No, you don't have waist, which is amazing. But I'm sure that's due to the engineering, because when you combine them into Liokaiser mode, you don't really want to take away from Liokaiser mode, because I mean, the robot mode and the Liokaiser mode are more important elements. They did a great job on the alt mode, which is the jet mode. And I think that was fantastic too. But lots of points of articulation. You have elbow, you still have the elbow swivel, you have the fist there, you have the shoulder, you have, you know, up and down, up, you know, all around. You have the head articulation. So I mean, this figure does have some points of articulation. I mean, a vast improvement to what you got from Generation 1, because Generation 1 to this point in time, they tried to incorporate a little bit of points of articulation. I mean, you get the standard arms here, but I mean, I think that's it with Gaia Hawk from Generation 1. I mean, you know, with the engineering, you can do a side kick, but nothing much other than that. The legs can kind of go in and out a little bit, but there wasn't really any points of articulation. You can see a little bit of the design elements. I mean, you see the chest animal does kind of resemble itself from the Generation 1 toy, so a lot of the design elements were carried over into the animated model for Transformers Victory. But I mean, even with the head sculpt here, you can kind of tell that they tried pulling off a hawk sculpt for the helmet there. Very, very nicely done. I'm glad they kind of did a little bit more detail to the paint scheme with the animated models, which carried over into the HasLab project. I do love that they made the shoulders kind of protrude a little bit, but this figure is just fantastic. I mean, they did a great job with this figure, and I mean, from what I've seen so far, I'm very happy with the robot modes from each one of these figures. Even their alt modes are very, very nicely done, and the Liokaiser mode is fantastic. Wait till you guys check that out. But they did such a great job with this set. Now I'm going to go ahead and convert Hellbat from his vehicle mode all the way to his robot mode. The first of that transformation, you have Hellbat's wings right there and right there. You have hinge nut right there and right there. And with that wing panel, you want to flip it up just like that. Do that to the other side, other wing panel, and flip it up just like that. So step number 2, you want to flip Hellbat over. You have Hellbat's feet right there and right there. With his foot now, you want to flip it up just like that. Do that to the other side, take that other foot and flip it up just like that. So step number 3, you have this whole back assembly right here. You want to take that back assembly and slightly bring it down just like that. So step number 4, you want to turn them around. You have that thruster right there. You want to take that thruster piece and you want to swing it out just like that. It kind of reveals a little fist right there. Step number 5, with this whole bottom piece now, you want to go ahead and separate it just like that. This step number 6, with the leg piece with the fist, what you want to do is you want to take that leg piece, you want to uncollapse it, swing it out, and collapse it over the fist just like that. Then step number 7, on the other leg piece here, on the inside, much like the other Transformers that you transformed earlier on, there's a panel. You want to take that panel, you want to flip it open just like that. Then you want to go ahead and take that leg piece, uncollapse the thigh, and bring it out just like that. So we're going to take that panel now, and you want to close it up just like that. Then step number 8, you want to turn Hellbat all the way around. On the back of the leg here, you have a wing panel right there and right there. You have a hinge nut right there and right there. With that leg panel, or that wing panel, you want to go ahead and flip it out just like that. Do that to your side, that wing panel, and flip it out just like that. Then step number 9, you want to take the leg pieces now. You want to kind of straighten them out just like that. Then step number 10, you have this landing gear right here. You want to take that landing gear and push it right into the nose cone just like that. So step number 11, you want to flip over Hellbat here. You have a hinge nut right there. You have a tab and a porthole. With that nose cone now, you want to untab it, bring it all the way down, and tab it right into his back, just like that. So step number 12, you want to take Hellbat's head right here, you want to rotate it all the way around, just like that. So step number 13, you want to take the arms now, and they're tabbed into place. You want these arms to untab them just like that, and just like that. Within the 14th and final step, inside the forearm right here, you have a fist. Look at that fist, you want to flip it out just like that. Do that to the other side, the other fist, flip it out just like that. And now you have Hellbat in his full robot mode. And then Hellbat in his vehicle mode. And on my display table, let's go over some of his play features and accessories. First of all, I talk about his chest animal. In translating his chest animal's name from the Japanese instruction, it is called Komori Breasto. But in English, it would be considered Komori Breast. And as we know, breast is not really an appropriate name for a children's toy line, so I'm going to refer to him as Komori. You're wondering why he's called Komori Bresto in the Japanese instruction, and the other two chest animals weren't. And that's because I mistranslated the two previous chest animals. With Gaia Hawk's chest animal, it's actually Hawk Bresto, but I'm going to refer to him as Hawk moving forward. And with Leozak, he was Lion Bresto, which is lion breast in English, but I'm going to refer to him as lion moving forward. I'm going to put those off to the side. Well, in order to convert Komori into the chest plate, or the chest, you take the wing panels right here, you have a hinge right there and right there, you flip that wing panel in just like that, and it feels like a Decepticon symbol. It looks pretty cool. Do that to the other wing panel, and it's a pretty cool looking chest panel right here. In order to put this chest panel on Hellbat or Elbat while he's in his vehicle mode, you flip over Komori and you have that little 5mm peg. Flip over Elbat here, you have a 5mm porthole. You plug in Komori on the bottom of Elbat just like that, and now you have Komori stored on Elbat while he's in his vehicle mode. Very cool. And Elbat's a very cool looking jet mode. I mean, there's really very little sacrifices made in this mode. And like I mentioned earlier on with two previous figures, that, you know, a lot of times when you have a multi-mode transformer, that maybe a combiner, one of the modes is always kind of the sacrificial lamb, where the quality kind of like loses its luster. Well, with Elbat, it's not the case. He's actually better than the Generation 1 version of his alt mode. Very, very nicely done. And the original name for Elbat was Hellbat, but since Hasbro Takara could not secure the rights to the Hellbat name, and they lost that, I believe it's McFarlane Toys. They used it for the Batman line for one of the Batman armors, which is called the Hellbat. So that's the reason why his name was changed to Elbat. But I'm probably going to refer to him as Hellbat moving forward because that's the name I knew him as. But it's a very nicely done figure. Get this mold detail here with the missiles on the end here, and does not cut, they don't unmount and fire forward or come off the jet. So it's actually a part of the figure here. Very, very nicely done. You have the landing gear that retracts into the nose cone. Other than that, you have some very basic play features. But let me go ahead and bring you my Generation 1 version of Hellbat. And as you can see, a lot of design elements did carry over. I mean, you don't really have that missile detail at the end of the wing here. Like I said, I mean, a lot of sacrifices are made. And I'm not sure if my figure's a little bit older because, I mean, maybe there's some yellowing in the blue that makes it look a little bit darker. Or Hellbat was meant to be dark because he is a bat. But with the animated model, they lightened him up a little bit because it's easier to animate that way. They gave him a lighter blue than the actual toy. But as you see some design elements to carry over. But like I said, the jet mode for the HasLab version is much cooler. I think it's done much better, which is a shock because a lot of times with the alt modes, they don't translate well when they're when they're done. Because a lot of times with the Generations toy line, they put a lot more into the robot mode to kind of keep it more faithful to the animated model from what a respective cartoon series is based on. So the alt mode kind of takes a little bit of a hit. But in this case, it's not too bad. The thruster back here is kind of strange. I mean, it is the fist for Liokaiser. But I mean, with the engineering here, it's very forgivable, and most likely a lot of people that purchase this set are not going to display the individual jet modes. Either it's going to be in the robot modes, because the robot modes are excellent, or in the combined mode as Liokaiser. But the jet mode is very nicely done. And as you see for the original Generation 1, you get that single fin in the back here, you get the wings here, you get the mounted missiles on the end, you get the nose cone here with that fin, which that design element did carry over. The shoulder pylon I'm not really thrilled about right here. It kind of takes away from the fin on the nose cone here, but nonetheless it's still a great figure. But I'm going to rotate them around so you can see all the similarities and differences on your own. Just a nicely done figure, and I love how they painted the cockpit red, more to match the animated model. It's It's just so faithful to what he looked like in the cartoon series. I'm gonna go and put this off to the side. But it is such a great figure. It is pretty bulky. It's pretty heavy, and it's not. They didn't really skim on any of the detail or any of the quality in the plastic. I mean, with the original Combiners War Devastator, like I mentioned earlier on, each individual Constructicon, since it was a set of 6, felt like it was a little bit. It was like a cheaper plastic. It was very light and very hollow. This figure is a Voyager class figure, and it does have a lot of bulk to it. So this figure is well worth the price that you paid, in that $2.99 for that campaign. Now that the Hellbat in this robot mode, and on my display table, I once again want to go over some of his play features and accessories. First, I talk about his chest animal, and as I mentioned earlier on, his name is Komori. You can take his chest animal and unmount it from his chest, and I mean, he's got some cool mold detail for the chest. He looks really, really good without the chest animal also, but he looks very menacing with it on. But you can also convert this chest animal, Komori, into a blaster. You do that turning Komori around. At the very bottom here, you have this little hinge joint, you have this little tab right there. You want to flip that tab out, and that tab actually forms a little barrel. You got a little 5mm peg right there, which actually acts as the handle of the blaster. And as we all know, each one of the fists has a 5mm porthole. Take Komori now, and you plug it right into his hand just like that. And now you have Hellbat armed with his blaster. Very, very cool. I love that gimmick where that chest piece becomes a weapon. It's very, very cool. It's just Transformers kind of evolved, but unfortunately the popularity in Transformers in the United States kind of faded away. So they couldn't really appreciate this set. I mean, Liokaiser or this the Breast Force or Chest Force set was released in the UK or in Europe. But unfortunately, US kind of bypassed that and they went the Action Master route and just faded out altogether. I mean, the Micro Masters, but Japan got this, and that's sad, but just be happy that we're getting it now. I'm gonna go ahead and take Komori. I'm gonna convert him back into the chest animal, and I'm just gonna put him back in. I prefer him better or more with the chest animal on his chest. Very, very cool. But Hellbat is probably one of my favorites out of the individual Chest Force figures. Very, very nicely done. I do love how Komori looks in his chest logo. It's very, very nicely done. Very menacing looking. And lots of points of articulation. I do like the paint detail here. You get the dark blue, but it's not as dark as the original Generation 1 toy. They lighten it up, and I'm sure it's because the animated model probably is easier to animate when you have more of a lighter color or lighter tone, so you can add some details to it. But I'm going to bring my Generation 1 version of Hellbat in, do a side-by-side comparison, and as you can see, they scaled up Hellbat for HasLab, which is much appreciated because now you have much more massive Liokaiser when in a fully combined mode. And even with the original Breast Force or original Liokaiser, it was a great combiner. It fit in with the other scaling for the other Generation 1 toys. And even though that, you know, this is like the later run of the Transformers series, they did make some improvements to the combiners. I mean, this is a 6-Transformer combiner, which kind of deviated away from the Scramble City combiners, where there was one centerpiece and 4 smaller pieces, where, you know, some of the consistency in the individual robots were about the same, the scaling, so it kind of made it more like a team. Very, very nicely done. But as you can see a lot of design elements did not really carry on from the Generation 1 toy into the HasLab version, because the HasLab version is based on the animated model from Transformers Victory, and that was based on the actual toy, where they kind of took some elements of the original Generation 1 toy and animated it. But I think Hellbat, or Komori, looked better with the original Generation 1 toy. I mean, he had much more detail and looks more like a monster. A little bit more menacing looking. And he converts the same way. The wing panels, you fold them in just like that. You get the Decepticon symbol right there. And it just plugs right into his chest, just like the HasLab version. Very, very cool. But I'm going to go ahead and take my Hellbat and put him off to the side, because I mean, there's not much to him. He's a very small figure. And I mean, it's a couple of flips and pulls again to transform him. And Komori does not want to really stay in. There you go. It's a very nicely done figure. Actually, let me go ahead and rotate him around so you can see some of the similarities and differences. You can see a lot of the design elements did carry through. I mean, his transformation was 14 steps, or 15 steps, I'm sorry. No, it was 14 steps. But it was still very basic for a Generations toy line. And if you don't know what Generations toy line incorporates, Started the war for Cybertron, which had Siege, Kingdom, and Earthrise. And you had the Legacy, then the Age of the Primes. You have Studio Series, and that's kind of where the Generation umbrella kind of falls over. So this figure's, I'm glad that they're able to bring over the breast chest force figures into the United States. Unfortunately, being a HasLab project, it's very limited, so not a lot of people are going to be able to appreciate this figure, but nonetheless, Hellbat is a very welcome addition to my collection. I'm going to go ahead and convert Jaruga from his vehicle mode all the way to his robot mode. The first of that transformation, right here you have this rear wheel right here, and you have a hinge joint right there. You have this on the other side too, you have the hinge joint, and then you have that rear wheel. With that rear wheel, you want to untab it, and swing it up just like that. Do that to the other side, get that rear wheel, untab it, and bring it up just like that. This is step number 2, you have this huge rocket launcher on the top here. With this rocket launcher, you want to untap it from the car and put it off to the side. This is step number 3, you have these little missile launchers right there and right there. With these missile launchers, we're going to untap them just like that, and just like that. So step number 4, on the side of the small rocket launcher, you have a porthole right there and right there. You want these missile launchers. On the back of these missile launchers, you have another peg right here. We're going to take that and tab it right into place, just like that. You want to make sure these missiles are facing up. Do that to the other side to the other missile launcher and plug it right into the rocket launcher, just like that. So step number 5, you have this little back assembly right here, and you have a hinge joint right there and right there. With this back assembly now, you want to go and untab it and flip it out just like that. So step number 6, on the bottom of this back assembly here, you have Dragora's feet right here and right here. You have a hinge joint right there and right there. Go to that foot now, you want to flip it out just like that. Do that to the other side of the other foot and flip it out just like that. This is step number 7. You have Jaruga's arms right there and right there. They're tabbed into place. We're going to pull them out just like that and just like that. So step number 8, you have these fists right there and right there. You want these fists, you want to flip them out just like that and just like that. This is step number 9, you have forearm right here. You have a swivel joint right there. With that forearm, you want to rotate it all the way around just like that. Go and do that to the other side of the other forearm and rotate it all the way around just like that. So step number 10, you have this front part of the car right here, and you have a hinge joint right there. You got a couple tabs right there and a couple portholes right there. You want that front end, you want to bring it back and tab it right into place just like that. So step number 11, you have Jaruga's head right there. You want to take his head and you want to rotate it all the way around just like that. This is the 12th and final step. You have Jaruga's feet right here, or legs. You want to tab them and open them up just like that. And now you have Jaruga in his full robot mode. Now that Jaruga in his vehicle mode, and on my display table, so I'm going to go over some of his plate features and accessories. First, I talk about his chest animal. According to Japanese translation, this chest animal's name is actually Jaguar Bresto, which is Jaguar Breast in English. But again, for obvious reasons, I'm not going to refer to him as that name, so I'm going to call him Jaguar from now on. Or to convert Jaguar into his chest plate, I want to flip him over. In the middle here, you have this little peg. You want to take this peg, you want to go and pry it out just like that. Take the tail now, you want to flip the tail in just like that. You want to take the head, you want to flip that in just like that. Then you want to go take the front leg here and bring it in just like that. Do that to the other side, other leg, bring it in just like that. You want the hind leg, you want to bring it down just like that, and do that to the other side. And now you have Jaguar in this full chest mode. Went to the chest mode now. In order to store the chest mode on Jaruga while he's in his vehicle mode, we'll put the vehicle mode over. In the middle here is a hollow center right here. You have a porthole right here. You want to take the chest plate right here. Get that peg right in the middle. We're going to plug that in just like that. And now you have Jaguar stored on Jaruga while he's in his vehicle mode. Very cool, and I do like that you can't really see it. The nice thing with this Jaguar, it kind of hangs low though. So my warning to a lot of collectors out there is, you don't want to roll this figure on any abrasive surfaces like concrete or any cement, because you get the hard wheels here, you cause any mold damage to the wheels, and you cause some mold damage to the bottom of the figure because there are some low-hanging parts close to the ground. So when you roll it across the ground, you do risk causing that mold damage. But other than that, it's a fantastic figure. I do like the vehicle mode. It's very, very faithful to the animated model from the Victory cartoon series, but also very faithful to the original Generation 1 toy design, which I do have on hand to a side-by-side comparison. I see a lot of design elements that carry over. And I believe this might be a dune buggy of sorts or a race car, but you do have that that look to it, where you even have that little, I don't know if that's supposed to be a crane or it's a pulley that pulls vehicles in, or a grill of some sort. But they even have that here, which they kept in there, but they went ahead and gave it some deco detail right there, where it's a silver metallic paint. You even have the Decepticon symbol. You have the yellow stripe that's on top of the white stripe, which I think is very, very cool. And you even have the rocket launcher on the top here, and the rocket launcher does come out where the rockets do shoot the rockets, which I think is a very cool design element that carried over. Here it's more of a blaster though, so you can pull it out and you tab it back in. Very, very cool. You got the big wheel in the back, small wheel in the front. You have the rocket launcher on top. You have a lot of design elements that did carry over from the original toy. But let me go and rotate around so you can see all the similarities and differences on your own. And it's a very, very nice update. I mean, of course, they scaled the figure up to a Voyager class, where the original figure's small, but when you combine all 6 of the breast force to form Liokaiser, he's a pretty considerable size figure, which you'll see later on. But can you imagine what 6 combined Voyager class figures look like? I mean, he's going to be big as Devastator. Which brings me to this next accessory. And I noticed with Devastator, since he's a 6 Transformer combiner, they include a torso piece, which is very, very cool. Instead of doing what they did with Scramble City Transformers, in the updates at least, where you have the centerpiece has an additional part where it becomes more of a frame, we just attach the smaller combiners on there. This one here actually is a combination of 6 different figures. You're not just attaching it onto a trailer or a turbo booster or whatnot. But you are actually, you have an additional torso piece, which actually functions as a rocket launcher. So it has dual capabilities. And what you do is, in order to arm Jaruga with this rocket launcher, at the bottom of this rocket launcher, you have this little tab right here with 2 portholes. On top of Jaruga right here, you have a porthole with 2 pegs inside. You want to take that rocket launcher, you want to peg it right into place, just like that. Then you want to take this wheel right here, you got this little hinge joint right here, take that wheel piece, you want to bring it right over the hind wheel right here, and on the back of the hubcap right here, you have like a peg. Inside this wheel right here, you have a porthole, and you just plug it right in, just like that. I'm going to do that to the other side, take that wheel piece, bring it in, tab it in place just like that, and now you have Jaruga armed with this rocket launcher. Very, very cool. Very menacing looking, and it's a nice little cover up for a torso piece. I mean, you do clearly see a torso right here, but I mean, from the front view, and I don't know if anyone's gonna display their Jaruga with its back displayed forward, but I mean, it looks like a menacing rocket launcher, which I think is very, very cool. I want to go ahead and take that rocket launcher off, because this rocket launcher wasn't an accessory that was included with the original Liokaiser set or Jaruga. But I'm going to put that off to the side. I'm going to talk about Jaruga. Jaruga has a lot of cool play features and a lot of cool detail. I mean, there's a lot of great mold detail here. You have additions of the rocket launcher. You have the hubcap here, which is actually painted out of a silver paint deco, where you shine certain angles of the light, got that dull metallic luster. And you got that right here with the little, I don't know if this is supposed to be a wire or a crane or a pulley of some sort. I mean, the wheels do roll, which is very nice. And then you also have Jaguar on the bottom here, where he kind of fills in that huge cavity here, and I love that gimmick where the chest plate becomes an animite. It's so cool. But nonetheless, it's still a great figure. I mean, the vehicle mode's fantastic, but you can't really go wrong because it's kind of like a Earth/Cybertronian vehicle mode. But if you look at it from all angles, you don't see a lot of gaps. You don't see a lot of empty panels. They utilize all the spacing in this figure perfectly. He's just a fantastic figure and a great addition to this set. Now that Jaruga in his robot mode and on my display table, I once again want to go over some of his play features and accessories. First of all, I talk about his chest animal, Jaguar. This would convert his chest animal into his blaster. You do that by pulling out the chest animal here, flipping it over. Get that tail piece right there. I want to flip this tail piece over and it becomes like the barrel of the blaster. You get that 5mm peg right here, which actually acts as a handle of the blaster. We'll take that and plug it right into his fist, just like that. And now you have Jaruga armed with his blaster. Pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and take Jaguar and convert him back into the chest plate and plug him right into the chest, because I think Jaruga looks very odd with that very hollow cavity right here. So I'm going to put that right back into place, just like that. And he looks really cool with his chest plate in. He's a very nicely done figure. Lots of great detail here. He's very nicely proportioned. Lots of points of articulation. You have knee, You have thigh swivel right here. You have the hip. You have no, you don't have torso. You have arm, elbow, bicep swivel, or elbow swivel, I'm sorry. And you have head. Very, very nicely done. I mean, it's a far cry from the Generation 1 version of Jaruga, which I do have on hand, do a side-by-side comparison. And you do see a lot of design elements that carry over from the original concept. You have the rocket launchers that are pegged into the side of the feet, which are legs, which you see right there. You have the chest animal right here, which for some reason is spring-loaded. I'm not sure why this was spring-loaded. I'm sure it's because they didn't want to leave a big cavity in the figure. So you go ahead and you push it in, you peg it into place, but you push it in and it kind of locks into place. So it is spring-loaded. Because unfortunately with the HasLab version, it kind of leaves that big empty cavity right there in the chest. We're going to put the chest animal back in there like that. You see some design elements, like the helmet for both figures are based on the Jaguar head sculpt, which I think is very cool. Except the HasLab version went ahead and stayed very, very faithful to the animated model from Transformers Victory by painting the helmet black. You get the red visor here. I mean, the gold and white's cool, but I mean, I much prefer the concept or the deco from the animated model much more. It's nicer, and it seems like it's a better blend. Here you got the chest animal here, where it's a sticker deco detail here, where they did the paint deco instead with this figure here. But I really think it's a cool figure. I mean, the arms are very stubby, and the transformation for this figure is just 2 flips. You flip out the front of the car and the legs out, and that's pretty much it for its transformation. You have a very basic transformation for this version of Jaruga, and it's probably the simplest out of all of the figures that come in this set, which I think is very, very nice. But it still does not have any sacrifices, where it's a very simplistic transformation, but the robot mode is still stellar. It's a great looking figure. But let me go rotate around so you can see all the similarities and differences on your own. You do see a lot of design elements that carry over, like the front of the car does flip down, the legs do flip out. I mean, there's a little bit more to the HasLab version, but that's only because it comes with that additional rocket launcher. We're going to take the Generation 1 version off and put it off to the side. And I'd have to say, Jaruga is a very nice figure. I mean, so far, going 3 out of 3, this set is completely worth the price. I mean, you have 3 Voyager class figures that I've reviewed so far that have been awesome. These figures are just fantastic, and I can't wait to get the next 4. But I'm gonna have to say the next 4 will be just as nice as the first 3. Now I'm gonna go ahead and convert Drillhorn from his vehicle mode all the way to his robot mode. First up, that transformation. You have this front piece right here. And you have a hinge joint right there. With this front piece, you want to swing it back just like that. This is step number 2. You flip Drillhorn all the way around. You have Drillhorn's feet right there and right there. We'll take his foot now and flip it down just like that. Do that to the other foot and flip it down just like that. This is step number 3. You have these treads right there and right there. You have a hinge joint right there and right there. And on that hinge joint, you have a porthole and a tab. You want to take that tread now. You want to swing it back, tab it into place just like that. Do that to the other side of the other tread, swing it back, and tab it into place just like that. So step number 4, you flip Drillhorn all the way around. You have this panel right there and right there. That panel, you want to untap it just like that. Do that to the other side of that panel and flip it up just like that. So step number 5, you have this large piece right there and right there. You want these large pieces, untap it just like that. Do that to the other side of the other large piece and untab it just like that. So step number 6, you want to flip Drillhorn around. You have these leg pieces right there. With these leg pieces, you want to separate them just like that. So step number 7, you want these leg pieces and you want to pull them down. You want to make sure you pull the thigh out of the leg. Then to the other side, pull the leg piece out just like that. So step number 8, you want to take a large piece now. You want to bring it in, tab back into place just like that. Do that to the other side, that large piece, bring it in just like that. This is step number 9, you want to turn Drillhorn all the way around. You got that panel again, you want to tab that into place just like that. Do that to the other side, to the other panel, and flip it in just like that. This is step number 10. With these arm pieces here, you have a little tab right there. You want to untab it just like that. Do that to the other side, to the other arm piece, and untab it just like that. This is the 11th final step. You have Drillhorn's fist right there and right there. With these fists, you want to rotate it in just like that. Do that to the other side, the other fist, rotate it in just like that. And now you have Drillhorn in this full robot mode. Now that Drillhorn in his vehicle mode and on my display table, so I'm going to go over some of his plate features and accessories. First, by talking about his chest animal. And according to the Japanese instructions from the original set, if I translated the name, his name is Hohenbresto, which is Horn Breast in English, but like I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to refer to him through his Japanese name, so I'm going to call him Horn from now on. He's a cute little figure here. He's a little rhinoceros. But you can convert Horn into his chest. You do that by flipping over Horn here. In the center here, you have his little peg. That peg, you want to pry it out just like that. You have his tail here. You want to flip his tail in. You have his head also. You want to take the head and flip that in. You want to take the front leg right here. Flip that up just like that. Do that to the other side. Other front leg. Flip it up just like that. And you want to take the hind leg here. You want to bring it up just like that. You want to do that to the other side. To that hind leg and bring it up just like that. And you want to take drill horn here. You want to flip them over. On the bottom you have this hollow out cavity right here with a porthole right here. And two little slots right there, and two more slots right there and right there. You have the chest piece right here in the middle here, that little peg. You have these tabs right there, right there, right there, and right there. If you fit everything perfectly and it's kind of a tight squeeze, he should fit right into that little groove just like that. Now you have Horn stored on drill horn while he's in his vehicle mode. And this vehicle mode is massive. It's pretty big. You get that drill right here, and that drill does unpeg. So you can peg it right back into place, just like that. It doesn't spin on its own, unfortunately, and neither did the original. You have these tank treads right here, which is nice they molded some wheels on here. So you're not rolling it across any type of surfaces, but you don't want to do any scuffing of the paint right here, and you don't want to roll this figure on any abrasive surfaces, because there are some low-hanging pieces here, and you don't want to cause any mold damage, especially since this is a HasLab figure, where you're not going to have too many of these in circulation anymore. But this figure is really nicely done. It's very big, lots of great mold detail to it. You have these blaster details right here, you got the engine detail right here, you have that horn detail here, you have tank treads right there. Just a really nicely done figure, and he is in his Cybertronian mode because, I mean, where on earth are you going to find one of these? But I'm going to go ahead and bring my original Generation 1 toy, do a side-by-side comparison. This figure is pretty big for a Generation 1 toy in comparison to the other parts of the Breast Force figures. But as you can see, the design for his original mode is very simplistic. You get that silver canopy for the cockpit right here. You get that drill piece, but the drill piece is actually a permanent piece of the figure. I don't know if I can flip it up, but it's just a molded piece where there's a hinge joint right there. And you can see it's very simplistic too. But with the HasLab version of the figure, I mean, they did a great job. It's a massive figure, and you know, it's got a great paint scheme, and it's very faithful to the animated model from the Transformers Victory series. But I'm going to take the Generation 1 version, put it off to the side. I'm going to rotate this figure around so you can see what it looks like from all angles. It's very nice, in the very nice vehicle mode, and they did upscale it to a Voyager class figure. Now that drill horn in this robot mode, and on my display table, I once again want to go over some of his play features and accessories. First of all, I talk about his chest animal horn. And this chest animal horn does convert into a blaster. Take Horn now, you untap him from or pull him out of the chest. You flip Horn over here. Bottom, you have his little tail. You want to flip his tail out, and the tail actually becomes the barrel of the blaster. This peg right here actually is the handle of the blaster. And we know it's a 5mm peg, and we know that's kind of standardized where most of the Transformers in the Generation toy line have 5mm portholes for the fist, which you have in Drill Horn's case. You take the blaster now, plug it right into his fist just like that, and now you have Drill Horn armed with his blaster. Very cool. But now you have this large gaping hole in his chest, which I would not display him with Horn as his blaster, so I'm going to go and take that blaster right here and convert it back into his chest piece and put it right back into his chest, because Drill Horn looks much more satisfying when he has his chest piece in. Much more menacing, very bulky figure, very heavy, lots of points of articulation. You have toe articulation, knee articulation, you have thigh swivel, you have hip articulation, you have elbow articulation, you have elbow swivel, shoulder articulation, and you have head articulation. Very well done. And it's nice that they're able to incorporate so many points of articulation in this figure, saying that the engineering in it is to make it look as loyal or as authentic as it possibly could, or very faithful to the animated model from Transformers Victory, which it does in this case. And the transformations in all three modes, including the Liokaiser mode, is fantastic. I mean, you saw with the vehicle mode, he looks very nice. And even in the robot mode, he was very bulky and menacing. Very cool. But I'm going to bring my Generation 1 version of Drill Horn in. And Drill Horn is not the greatest when it comes to Generation 1. I mean, even if you look at his chest animal, or breast, or whatever you want to call it, kind of sinks kind of low, so you do have part of the chest exposed. I mean, even the transformation is very simplistic. You pull the legs out, flip the fist out, and you flip the nose cone back, and that's what you have. So it's very simplistic. But I'm going to go ahead and rotate it around because some of the design elements did carry over, not too much, because the color scheme got totally changed, but it's more based on the animated model from Transformers Victory. But as you can see, you have the design element where you see the nose cone still. You can see the top or the back of the vehicle mode right there. You see the treads for the tank treads right there. But instead, with the HasLab version, you flip the treads back, so it kind of is in the back of the arm where you can see the front of the arm. Here it's part of the transformation. So I'm going to put my generation version of Joel off to the side, and I don't want to talk about this figure. This figure is very, very nicely done. I mean, right now, I think I'm at number 5. This is the 5th Liokaiser member or Chess Force member I've reviewed so far. And so far, 5 out of 5 have been great. I mean, I still have 2 more to look over, but Drillhorn does add to this set. It's a great, great set so far. Now I'm going to go ahead and convert Kill Bison from his vehicle mode all the way to his robot mode. First of the transformation, this tank turret on top here. I think it's tank turret, untab it and put it off to the side. Step number 2, you have this panel right here. You have a hinge nut right there. You want to take this panel and you want to go ahead and open it up just like that. Step number 3, inside that panel you have another panel right there. You want to flip that out, it reveals his head. So step number 4, you have a couple tabs right there and right there. You have a porthole right there and right there. You want to close this panel up and make sure it tabs right into place just like that. Step number 5, you have Kill Bison's feet right there and right there. You have a hinge nut right there and right there. Flip that foot now, flip it down just like that. Do that to the other side, the other foot, and flip it down just like that. So step number 6, we're going to Kill Bison all the way around. You have this panel right there and right there. That panel, you want to open up just like that. Do that to the other side, take that panel and open it up just like that. So step number 7, you have this large piece right there and right there. You want this large piece, pull it out just like that. Do that to the other side, the other large piece, and pull it out just like that. So step number 8, you have Kill Bison's legs right here. You want to take his legs now, and you want to go ahead and separate them just like that. Step number 9, you want to take these legs now and pull them out so you take the thigh out of the leg. Do that to the other side. You want to pull the leg out so the thigh comes out of the leg just like that. So step number 10, you want to take these large pieces now. You want to tab them right back into place just like that. Do that to the other side of the other leg piece and tab it into place just like that. So step number 11, we're going to turn them all the way around. You have this panel right here. Look at that panel. You want to tab it right back into place just like that. Do that to the other side of the other panel. Tab right into place just like that. Step number 12, turn Kill Bison all the way around. You have his arms right there and right there. Take his arms, you'll untab them just like that. Do that to the other side of the other arm and untab it just like that. Step number 13, you have Kill Bison's fist. Take his fist, rotate it in just like that. We'll do that to the other side of the other fist and rotate it out just like that. So step number 14, you have this little tank turret right here. You want to take these tank turrets now and you want to go ahead and swing them up just like that. Do that to the other side to the other tank turret and slide it up just like that. Within the 15th and final step, we're going to grab the tank turret back. We're going to take that tank turret and tab it right back into his back just like that. And now you have Kill Bison in his full robot mode. Now they have Kill Bison in his vehicle mode. And on my display table, we'll go over some of his play features and accessories. First, I talk about his chest animal. And according to the Japanese instructions, his translated name is Bison Bresto, which is bison breast in English, but I'm probably going to call him Bison from this point forward. Or to convert Bison into his chest piece, you flip Bison over right here. Get that tab in the middle here. You want to pry out that tab and bring it out just like that. You want to take the head here. You want to bring the head in, bring it in just like that. And you want to take the tail here, and you want to go flip it in just like that. You want to go to the front leg here, you want to bring it back just like that. Do that to the other front leg, bring it back just like that. You want to take the hind leg, bring that up just like that. Do that to the other side, the other hind leg, and bring it up just like that. You want to flip over Kill Bison here. You have that groove right here, you have a porthole. You want to take Bison here, that little tab. You want to make sure everything lines up just like you did with Drillhorn, and you want to make sure it goes right into place just like that. So now you have Bison stored on Kill Bison while he's in his vehicle mode. Very cool. And this vehicle mode is large. It's pretty big, but it's a very big letdown at the same time too, because I mean the proportions are way off, and it just looks like a box with a turret on the top. It doesn't really look too much like a tank. I mean, the Generation 1 toy is much better in its vehicle mode. It's much more proportion. I mean, this figure's been scaled up to a Voyager class, but I bring my Generation 1 version of Kill Bison in, and it's much nicer. It looks more like a tank. I mean, it's a Cybertronian tank. But yeah, the dual barrels right here, which is pretty cool, where they're independent of each other. And that is a design element that did carry over to the HasLab version of Kill Bison. We have the two arms that swing independently of each other. I mean, the turrets are almost the same, so you see a lot of design elements that carry over from the original Generation 1 toy to the HasLab version. It's just the tank version is off. I mean, some of it's okay. They could have done something with the front end that kind of covered this kibble up a little bit. And this front part, making it a little bit narrower, but I think with the engineering for Liokaiser is why it's done this way, plus the robot mode too. So the robot mode I'm sure is going to look fantastic, but this is the mode that took the sacrifice. I'm going to go rotate around so you can see all the similarities and differences on your own, and where you can see a lot of design elements did carry over from the Generation 1 toy. And I'm not sure, I didn't really look at the animated model for the vehicle mode for Kill Bison, but I have to say that it's probably based on that model instead of the Generation 1 toy, which is kind of a disappointment because the Generation 1 toy is superior to the HasLab version, which is probably the first out of the 6 that I've talked about so far. So far, this vehicle mode has been kind of a letdown. I know I said that about Liozak, but Liozak wasn't bad enough to kind of make me kind of scoff at. And this one right here is the vehicle mode is pretty weak. I'm going to go and take the Generation 1 version, put that off to the side, and let me go and talk about some of the details on Kill Bison here in this vehicle mode. I mean, you do some tread detail right here. You have some bolt detail here from the armor right here. You have some mold detail here. You have some vents here. I mean, the turret's not too bad. It does rotate around, and it goes up and down. And I do believe this turret does become Liokaiser's blaster. At least the Generation 1 toy does that. But it's not a bad vehicle mode. And nice thing they did here was they molded some, or not mold, they introduced some wheels so you're not really rolling the figure on its treads on any sort of surfaces. You don't want to cause any scuffs with the paint. Plus, you don't want to roll it across any abrasive surfaces like I mentioned many times earlier on. Because, I mean, there are some pieces that hang low. You don't want to scratch up the chest animal right here or the treads. It's nicely done. I mean, it's a decent vehicle mode. It's just not subpar with the other vehicles that we've reviewed so far. Now that I've Kill Bison in his robot mode and on my display table, I once again want to go over some of his play features and accessories. First, by talking about his chest animal Bison. And this chest animal Bison does turn into his blaster, which you do by pulling Bison out of his chest, just like that. Flip Bison over here, and you have his tail right there. Well, flip his tail out, and the tail actually becomes the barrel of the blaster. Right here, you have the handle of the blaster, which is actually a 5mm peg. Each one of his fists is a 5mm porthole. So take that blaster and plug it either one of his fists, and now you have Kill Bison armed with his blaster. Very cool. But now you have this big, large gap in his chest, and he doesn't look as menacing when he has a big hole in his chest. So I'm going to go and take Bison now and convert him back into his chest. I flip in the barrel just like that, and slipping him right into that groove just like that. Now he looks menacing again. And he's a pretty bulky figure. It's pretty heavy. He is a Voyager class figure. And what I liked about, like I mentioned earlier on, about these chest force figures in English, and of course in Japanese, you know what the name is, breast force. But they're bulkier. And it is a 6-team combiner where all the figures are Voyager class figures. And if you remember, I mentioned earlier on about the construction concept that came out for Combiner Wars, where it was a 16 combiner set, but they skimped out on the quality, and it was very light and hollow, and the figures just did not feel right. And I'm glad they reissued them and brought them in the Studio Series, where they're actually like full-on figures where they have some bulk to them, some heft to them. And that's what Kill Bison has in the rest of the Chest Force team, which is very, very cool. It's a nicely done figure and nicely sculpted. I love the helmet sculpt here where it kind of looks like a bowl. And it's very faithful to the anime model from the Victory cartoon series, or Transformers Victory cartoon series, and I do love it. And it's very loosely based on a lot of the design concepts from Generation 1 toy. Generation 1 toy, like you see, is very bulky, and this set right here was probably the first time that they had a 6-team combiner set since Devastator. So that was a welcome addition, because traditionally with Scramble City, you had the center torso piece, which was one bigger robot, and the limbs were much smaller, and it was attached to this bigger robot. Well, with the 6-team combiner set, all 6 members are around the same size, So when they all combine, they form a super robot, which is fantastic. And that design element did carry over to the HasLab version of Liokaiser, which I do really enjoy. But the robot mode's fantastic. Lots of points of articulation. Of course, you have toe articulation, knee articulation, you have thigh swivel, you have hip articulation, you have fist, you have elbow swivel, you have elbow articulation, you have shoulder articulation, and head articulation. So you have a lot of engineering put into this figure. I mean, with the basic Generation 1 toy, you just have the arm articulation and that's it. But it's a nicely done figure nonetheless, and I did not suffer from that gold plastic syndrome, which I just realized that he is molded out of that gold plastic, which is very, very scary. But his robot mode's not too bad. I just don't really dig the chest piece hanging so low, because it does expose the top of the chest here. I mean, the head sculpt is fantastic for the original Generation 1 version of Kill Bison, because it does look like a bull helmet. Very, very nicely done. But I'm going to put this off to the side. I'm going to rotate him around so you see what it looks like from all angles. The one thing I don't like about this figure in robot mode, and you could probably do without it, is this big cannon on his back here. Where if you choose not to display him with the cannon on his back, you can do so. But since the instructions say that's part of this transformation, and the original Generation 1 toy, the cannon does not come off. I mean, the blasters on the side do, and they form a weapon of sorts. But yeah, the cannon does not come off of the original Kill Bison. But I'm rotating around so you see what it looks like from all angles. Nicely detailed. You have some mold detail right here on the backpack. He has some bolt detail where it shows where he's bolted on the side here, where he's armored. Very, very nicely done. You have that tread detail right there. It's a nicely done figure. I really find that so far in robot mode, 6 out of 6, they really nailed it with this set. Now I'm going to go ahead and convert Death Cobra from his vehicle mode all the way to his robot mode. Now first of that transformation, we want to flip over Death Cobra. You have Cobra right here. We'll take Cobra, untab Cobra, and put him off to the side. We'll do the same thing with Propeller. You want to take the Propeller, untab that. Step number 2, with this Propeller now, you want to fold it together. You get a couple hinge joint right there to form a little V. Now I'm going to put this off to the side. And step number 3, you want to grab Death Cobra again. You have this tail piece right here. You have a hinge joint right there. That tail piece, untab it just like that. Step number 4, you have this leg piece right here. You want to take the green part now, we'll untab it and straighten it out just like that. Step number 5, you have a hinge joint right there. You want to take the thigh now, and you want to go ahead and straighten out the thigh and tab it together just like that. Step number 6, you have Death Cobra's feet right here. You want to take his foot now, you want to flip it up just like that. Do that here, take the other foot and flip it up just like that. Step number 7, you have his leg piece here, you have this torso piece right here. You want to take that piece, you want to kind of angle it down just like that. You want to go ahead and rotate it all the way around just like that. You want to go ahead and bring it back up just like that. Step number 8, we're going to flip over Death Cobra. You have these wing pieces right there and right there. You have a hinge joint right there and right there. You want to take these wing pieces, flip them all the way up just like that. Do that to the other wing piece and flip it all the way up just like that. Step number 9, there's cockpit piece right here and you have a hinge joint right there. You do that cockpit, you want to bring it down, you have a tab and a porthole. You want to bring that cockpit, tab it right into place just like that. Step number 10, instead of the cockpit here, you have this little gray panel. You have a hinge joint right there. You want to flip this panel out, reveals Death Cobra's head. You want to bring it all the way down and forward just like that. Step number 11, you want to turn Death Cobra all the way around. You get this porthole right here. You want to go ahead and grab that propeller here. And you have a smaller 5mm porthole peg right there. I'm going to put it right in that porthole. So we want to plug that in just like that. Step number 12, when we grab Death Cobra's legs here, you want to spread them apart just like that. You get the arms here that are tabbed in the side of the body. You want to go ahead and take the arm pieces and bring them out just like that. Step number 13, you have this leg piece right here. You want to slightly bring this leg piece out, and it's a little bit tougher, just like that. That's because in step number 14, you have a hinge joint right there and right there. You want to go ahead and take the heel piece now and flip it out just like that. Go ahead and do that to the other side of that heel piece and flip it out. It's kind of hard to get to, just like that. Step number 15, you want to go and take that leg piece and collapse it over the fist right here. Step number 16, you want to turn Death Cobra all the way around. Inside his forearm, he has a fist. You want to take that fist now, flip it out just like that. Do that to the other side of the other fist and flip it out just like that. So the 17th and final step, you want to go and grab Cobra now. take Cobra and plug him right back into his chest, just like that. And now you have Death Cobra in his full robot mode. Now that I have Death Cobra in his vehicle mode, and on my display table, let's go over some of his plate features and accessories. First, I talk about his chest animal. Unfortunately, HasLab did not give this chest animal a name. That's because the chest animal was never produced for the Generation 1's toy line. Neither was Death Cobra. These figures were actually designed as anime models for the Japanese exclusive anime Transformers Victory. And according to Victory, this character's name is Cobra. In order to convert Cobra into Death Cobra's chest piece, we'll take Cobra's head and push it right into the body just like that. You want to turn him around here. This end piece of the tail here, you got a hinge on it right there. You want to push that right into the body just like that. You want to take Death Cobra now, flip him over, and on the bottom of his cockpit you have this cavity with a porthole. We'll take Cobra now, you want to plug him right into the bottom of Death Cobra just like that. And now you have Cobra stored on Death Cobra while he's in his vehicle mode. Very, very cool. And this is a nicely done figure. It's an exclusive figure, and this is the first time Death Cobra's ever produced in any toy line. And they did a fantastic job of that. And this is one of those rare instances where they took the anime model and designed a figure from the anime model. And the only time I really recall them doing that is with the 1986 Transformers the movie, where they took a lot of those animated concepts and made toys out of them. Because usually what Takara and Hasbro did was they actually took the toy designs, sent them to the animators, and that's what they used as their animated models. Well, this is the opposite right here because this figure is never produced, and I'm glad that they did it. And he was unlocked in the first bonus tier, which is really, really, really cool. And the thing was, he had a little cool backstory where he was very close friends with Leo Zach. He was brought in to become the new recruit for the Breast Force team in Japan, but in other markets it's considered Chest Force, which is pretty much what I'm going to refer to it as, because Breast Force is kind of not really appropriate for a kid's toy line. But he was brought in and he actually converts into Liokaiser's left arm, so that kind of gave Hellbat a little bit of competition. So Hellbat confronted Death Cobra, and they had a little confrontation where Hellbat actually did away with Death Cobra. But what happened was Hellbat blamed Death Cobra's death on the Autobots, and that was kind of fuel for revenge for the Chest Force team. That's why they were so angry at the Autobots, and that's why they wanted to get revenge on the Autobots so bad to kind of avenge their friend Death Cobra. But nonetheless, it's a fantastic figure. I mean, it's a propeller here that actually rotates. It's a rear propeller here that rotates also. You have great mold detail. You have cockpit detail here where it's a orange paint deco detail right there. You have these engines here. I mean, you look at the bottom here, you do see Cobra here, but that's part of the gimmick right here. I mean, I love this. I can't get over this turret here. It kind of swivels back and forth. The only robot kibble you see is the legs here. But nonetheless, it's a great figure. I'm just really glad that they produced this figure. A lot of heft to it. I mean, it's a Voyager class figure. And I'm just thrilled that we got this exclusive figure for this set. Now they have Death Cobra in his robot mode, and on my display table, I once again want to go over some of his play features and accessories. First, I talk about his chest animal Cobra. And there's a way to convert Cobra into Death Cobra's blaster. And you do that by unpegging Cobra here. You flip him over. You have this tailpiece right here, and you have a hinge joint on the bottom here. You want to take that tailpiece, you want to flip it out just like that. And that tailpiece actually forms the barrel of the blaster. Over here, a 5mm peg, which actually is the handle of the blaster. Each one of his fists has a 5mm porthole. Take that blaster and plug either one of his fists just like that. And I have Death Cobra armed with his blaster. Very cool. I think this is an awesome gimmick where you have this chest panel that becomes his companion and becomes his weapon. I'm just so sad that this concept did not make it to US shores until now. But nonetheless, it made it here finally. Unfortunately, it's only through a HasLab crowdfunded project where it's very limited. But I think people would appreciate this whole gimmick of this whole chest force where you have these little animals that become companions, which is more like an Autobot trait, but I think it's cool that the Decepticons got something like that. But I'll go ahead and take Cobra here and convert him back into the chest piece and plug him right back into Death Cobra's chest. I just love the way he looks with this chest piece. Very cool figure. I mean, for something that was only designed as an anime model for a cartoon series, still nonetheless is a very cool figure. Probably one of my more favorite figures in this set. I mean, the head sculpt here has a Cobra head. I mean, can you imagine a crossover with G.I. Joe, what they possibly could have done with this figure? I mean, it's a fantastic figure. I mean, it transforms into a military vehicle, which could be a helicopter of some sorts. but it's very, very nicely done. Lots of great mold detail. I love how the thighs here have that scaling, where it kind of has that scaling as if it was part of a snake. I mean, you got some great mold detail to it. It's just a fantastic figure. You get the standard points of articulation for this set, where you have the toe articulation, knee. You got the, I don't know if you have thigh swivel. You don't have thigh swivel because of engineering with the thigh here. But you do have hip. You have torso, of course. You have elbow. I think you have bicep swivel. No, you have elbow swivel. You have, of course, you have fist. You have shoulder. And, of course, you have the head. It's a very nicely done figure. Just lots of great detail here. And him being a bonus here and just being the first time this figure is ever produced for any Transformers toy line, that's just great. I just love this figure. I'm glad that they made him, and I never in 1,000 years would have fathomed that they would have produced this figure. Next, we're going to go ahead and convert Leozak from his robot mode into one of the components to form Liokaiser. First up that transformation, you have Lion Blast right here. You want to take Lion Blast, you want to untap him from the chest, just like that, and you want to put him off to the side. Step number 2, you have Leozak's fist right there and right there. You have a hinge shot right there and right there. You want to take his fist now, you want to push him right into the forearm just like that. Do that to the other side of the other fist and push it right into the forearm just like that. So step number 3, you have this whole back assembly right here. It's a double jointed hinge joint. You want to go and just pull it out just like that. So step number 4, you have Leozak's chest piece right here. You have a hinge shot right there. Look at that chest panel, you want to pull it open just like that. So step number 5, you have Liokaiser's head right there. You have Leozak's head. You want to take the Leozak head and flip it in so Liokaiser's head comes out just like that. So step number 6, you have that chest panel here. You have a couple tabs right there and right there. You have a porthole right there and right there. You want to take that chest panel and we're going to close it up just like that. Then step number 7, you have this little bottom assembly right here, and right at the hip you have the swivel joint. Which is that bottom piece, you want to rotate it all the way around just like that. So step number 8, with the leg pieces right here, in between the leg pieces you have a tab and a porthole. You want to take these leg pieces now, you want to go ahead and tab them together just like that. So step number 9, you have Leozak's arms right there and right there. You have a hinge shot right there and right there. You want to bring his arms out just like that and just like that. Then step number 10, we're going to take the leg piece now. You have a hinge shot right there and right there and right there and right there. You want this whole leg piece, you want to bend it in, then you want to flip it in, and at the same time you have this tab right there and right there. You have a porthole right there and right there. You want to tab it right into Leozak's front piece or back piece just like that. Step number 11, you have these wing pieces right here. You want to these wing pieces now, and I don't know if you guys can see it too well. There's a porthole right there. There's a tab right there. Look at that wing piece. You want to tab it right into place just like that. And it kind of secures the torso piece a little bit better. Do that to the other side to that wing panel. Push it right in, tab it into place just like that. So step number 12, with these arm pieces now, you want to bring them down just like that. Do that to the other side to the arm piece and bring it down just like that. This is the 13th and final step. You have this back assembly now. You have the double joint hinge joint right here. You have some tabs and some portholes. You want to take this piece, you want to go and tab it right into place just like that. And now you have Liokaiser's top torso piece. Next, we're going to convert Skyhawk from his robot mode all the way to Liokaiser's right arm. But first of the transformation, you have Skyhawk's chest animal right there. With this chest animal here, we'll untap it and put it off to the side. Step number 2, you have his fist right there and right there. You have a hinge shot right there and right there. We'll take his fist and flip it right in the forearm just like that. Do that to the other side to that fist and flip it right in the forearm just like that. Step number 3, under the arm here you have a little tab. Beside the body you have a porthole. You want to take the arm piece, you want to tap it right into place just like that. Do that to the other arm piece and tap it into place just like that. Step number 4, you have Skyhawk's head right here. You want to take his head now, you want to rotate it all the way around just like that. So step number 5, back of the head here you have a hinge joint. You want to take the head piece now, you want to flip it right into the nose cone, and it draws out this black piece. You want to pull this black piece up just like that. Step number 6, you have this little bottom assembly right here, and you have a hinge joint right at the chest piece right here. Look at that bottom assembly now. You want to go ahead and bring it down just like that. Step number 7, you have Skyhawk's legs right there. You got a hinge joint right there and right there. You want to bring the leg pieces. You want to bring them open just like that, and just like that. Step number 8, on the left leg right here, you have this panel. You have a hinge joint right there. You want to take that panel. You want to open it up just like that. Step number 9. Then you want to take these thigh pieces, you want to collapse them right into the leg, just like this. You want to do it to the other side, but the other side's a little bit tricky because there's a fist right here. So you want to bring the leg piece out, draw that fist out, collapse right over the thigh, just like that. Step number 10, you want to take this panel now, you want to go ahead and close it over the thigh just like that. Step number 11, you have these leg pieces right here, and between these leg pieces you have these tabs and portholes. You want to bring these leg pieces together and tab them together just like that. Step 12. You have Guy Hawk's fist right here. You want to take this fist now, you want to rotate it all the way around just like that. This 13th and final step, you have these shoulder pylons right there and right there. You have a hinge joint right there and right there. You want to take these shoulder pylons, you want to flip them up just like that. Do that to the other side, the other shoulder pylon, flip it up just like that. And now you have Guy Hawk in his complete right arm mode. Next, we're going to convert Hellbat from his robot mode all the way to Liokaiser's left arm. First up that transformation, we'll take Komori here, we'll untab him and put him off to the side. In step number 2, you have Hellbat's fist right there and right there. You want to take his fist, you want to flip right into the forearm just like that. Do that to the other side of that fist and flip right into the forearm just like that. This is step number 3. Under the arm right here, you have a little tab. Side of the body, you have a porthole. You want to take these arms and tab them right into the body just like that. So step number 4, you want to Hellbat's head right here. You want to rotate it all the way around just like that. So step number 5, you have that hinge joint right there. You want to take Hellbat's head right here, flip it right into the nose cone, which draws out this black piece. You want to bring that black piece all the way up just like that. So step number 6, you have a hinge joint right there. You want to take this whole bottom assembly right here and flip it down just like that. So step number 7, you have Hellbat's feet right here. You want to take his feet, you want to open it up just like that. So step number 8, on the inside of one of the legs right here, you have the little panel. You want to take that panel, you want to go ahead and flip it open just like that. So step number 9, you want to take both these legs now, you want to clasp them over the thigh. I'm going to do that with the left leg right here, where it draws out the fist from the leg, which is pretty tricky. And I'm going to go ahead and take the leg now and collapse it right over the thigh. Just like that. It draws out that fist. Do that to the other side. You want to take that leg piece, you want to collapse it right over the thigh. Just like that. So step number 10, you want to take that panel now. You want to close up that panel just like that. So step number 11, you want to take these leg pieces now, get these tabs and portholes, you want to tab them together just like that. And step number 12, you want to flip over Hellbat, you have those wing panels right there and right there. You have a hinge joint right there and right there with these wing panels, you want to go ahead and tab them together just like that. And step number 13, you want to take that fist, you want to rotate that fist all the way around just like that, because in the 14th and final step, you have these shoulder pylons right there and right there. With these shoulder pylons, you want to flip them all the way over, just like that. You want to do it to the other side, the other shoulder pylon, flip it over just like that. And now you have Hellbat in its full left arm mode. Next, we're going to convert Darga from its robot mode all the way to Liokaiser's bottom torso piece. First up that transformation, you have these missile launchers right there and right there. You want to take these missile launchers, you want to untab them and put them off to the side. Do that to the other side, the other missile launcher, untab it and put it off to the side. Step number 2, you have Darga's head right here. You want to take his head here, you want to rotate it all the way around, just like that. So step number 3, you have this car piece right here, you have a hinge joint right there, you want to do the front of the car, a couple tabs right there and right there, you have a porthole right there and right there. That front of the car, you want to tab it right into place, just like that. So step number 4, you have Darga's legs right there and right there. In between his legs, you have some tabs and portholes. You want to tab the legs together, just like that. So step number 5, you have Darga's feet right there and right there. You want to take his foot, flip right into the leg, just like that. Do that to the other side of the other foot, flip it right into the leg, just like that. So step number 6, you have his fist right there and right there. You want to take his fist, you want to flip it right back into the forearm, just like that. You want to do that to the other side of that fist, flip right back into the forearm, just like that. So step number 7, you want to turn Darga all the way around here. You have his legs here. You want to take his legs, you want to bring them all the way back, just like that. So step number 8, you want to bring back the torso piece right here. Inside the torso piece, you have this wheel piece right here, and you have a hinge joint up here. With that wheel piece, bring it all the way up just like that. Do that to the other side to that wheel piece and bring it all the way up just like that. Step number 9, when you take this torso piece, you want to put it down. You want to go and grab this other piece right here. You want to grab Jaruga. And you have this little groove right here, and you have a little slot right there. You want to take this piece now. You want to slide it right into the torso piece. Go ahead and get it into place just like that. Then step number 10, we'll grab those rocket launchers right here, or missile launchers. You want to make sure that you tab it into place. You got that peg in the back of that missile launcher right here. You want to go ahead and tab it right into place, but at the same time you want to make sure that this other tab or peg goes right into that groove and locks into place just like that. Go and do that to the other side. It's a little tricky. It's kind of a multi-task step right here. But you want to peg it into place at the same time you want to lock it into place too. This is step number 11. With these wheel pieces now, you want to bring them up and tap them right into place just like that. Do that to the other side, the other wheel piece, and bring it up just like that. Because in the 12th and final step, get those forearm pieces right there and right there. You want these forearm pieces, you want to rotate them all the way around just like that. Do that to the other side, the other forearm piece, and rotate it all the way around just like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and convert Drill Horn from his robot mode all the way to Liokaiser's left leg. The first step of the transformation, you have Drill Horn's fist right there and right there. I'll take his fist now, you want to rotate it all the way around just like that. Do that to the other side to the other fist and rotate it all the way around just like that. So step number 2, inside the forearm here you have a little porthole, inside the body you have a little tab. Take that forearm and tab it right into place just like that. Do that to the other side of the other forearm and tab it right into place just like that. Step number 3, you want to turn Drill Horn all the way around. You have this panel right there and right there. You want to take this panel now, you want to untap it just like that. Do that to the other side of the other panel and untap it just like that. So step number 4, you have this large piece right there and right there. That large piece, you want to bring it out just like that. Do that to the other side of the other large piece and bring it out just like that. So step number 5, we'll go ahead and collapse the thigh into the leg. And you do that by pushing it in just like that. Do that to the other side of the other leg piece and collapse the thigh right into it just like that. So step number 6, you have these 2 leg pieces. You have some tabs and portholes in the middle. You want to go to these two leg pieces and tab them together just like that. So step number 7, with these large pieces right here and this little groove right here, and you have the fist. With that large piece, you're going to tab in place just like that. Do that to the other side to that other large piece and tab it right into place just like that. So step number 8, you have horn right here. You want to take horn and you want to take them out of the chest just like that and put them off to the side. Step number 9, you want to drill horn all the way around. You have these panels right there. You want to take these panels and push them right back into place just like that. So step number 10, on this back right here, this little panel, you have a hinge joint right there. Look at that panel, you want to open it up just like that. Step number 11, you have this black piece right inside of his chest. And with that black piece, you want to flip it out. At the same time, you're flipping the head into the body just like that. This is step number 12. Went to that panel now, and you want to tap it right back into place just like that. This is step number 13. With this drill piece, you're going to bring it down just like that. So step number 14, we're going to turn Drill Horn all the way around. We'll go get Horn again, and you want to take Horn and put him right back into that whole chest piece just like that. So step number 15, you have this piece right there and right there. You have a hinge joint right there and right there. You want to take this whole large piece, you want to flip it down just like that. You want to do that to the other side. You want to take the other piece and flip it down just like that. So step number 16, you have these treads right there and right there. You want to take these treads now, you want to flip them forward just like that. Do that to the other side of the other tread and flip it forward just like that. And now you have Liokaiser's left leg. Next, we're going to convert Kill Bison from his robot mode all the way to Liokaiser's right leg. And the first step of the transformation, like Bison here, you want to untab and put him off to the side. You want to do the same thing with this turret back here. You want to take this turret, untab it, and put that off to the side. So step number 2, you have these tank treads right there and right there. You want to take the tank tread now, and you want to flip it down just like that. Do that to the other side of the other tank tread and flip it down just like that. So step number 3, you have his fist right there and right there. You want to take his fist now and rotate them all the way around just like that. Go and do that to the other side of the other fist and rotate it all the way around just like that. So step number 4, we're doing Kill Bison all the way around. You have this panel right there and right there. You want to take this panel and you want to pop it out just like that. Do that to the other side to the other panel and flip it out just like that. Step number 5, you have this large piece right there and right there. You want to take this large piece, pop it out just like that. Do that to the other side to the other large piece, pop it out just like that. Step number 6, you want to turn Kill Bison all the way around. You want to collapse the thigh into the leg by pushing it in, just like that. Go and do that to the other side to the other thigh, collapse it right into the leg, just like that. Then step number 7, you want to take his arms now. Inside his arms, you have a porthole right there, and you have a tab right there. You want to take that arm and tab it right into place, just like that. Do that to the other side, you got the forearm right there, and you have that little porthole right there. Inside the body, you have that little tab. You want to tab that right into place. And on top of that, you have this large piece right here. You want to take this large piece and tab it right into the side of the leg, just like that. And it should go over the fist. Do that to the other side, to that other tab, or other piece, and tab it right into place, just like that. Because in step number 8, you have these leg pieces right there. You have some tabs and portholes in the middle. You want to go and push that all together, just like that. So step number 9, you have Kill Bison's feet right there. You take his foot now, flip it right into the body, just like that. Do that to the other foot, and flip it right into the body, just like that. Step number 10, you want to flip Kill Bison all the way over. You have these panels right there. Put these panels and pop them right into place, just like that. So step number 11, we're going to turn Kill Bison all the way around. You have this headpiece right here. You want to flip this headpiece up just like that. So step number 12, you have this backpack piece right there. You have a hinge joint right there. Go into that backpack piece, flip it all the way down, just like that. So step number 13, inside the body right here, this black piece right here. You want to take this black piece, you want to flip it all the way up, just like that. So step number 14, you want to turn Kill Bison all the way around. You have Kill Bison's head right here. You want to flip the head right into the backpack, just like that. Step number 15, you want to take this backpack piece. You have a peg right there and right there. You have a porthole right there and right there. You want to go ahead and take that piece and close it up, just like that. Step number 16, we're going to grab Bison again, and you want to put him right into that cavity, just like that. Then step number 17, on the side of the body right here, you have the heel right here. You want to peel this heel out just like that. You want to flip over Kill Bison. You got the foot right here. Onto that foot, you want to flip that foot out just like that. Because in the 18th and final step, you want to grab that turret again, and you want to take that turret and plug it right back into place. And now you have Kill Bison as Liokaiser's right leg. So I'm going to go ahead and convert Death Cobra from his robot mode all the way to Liokaiser's left arm. Now, first step of the transformation, the Cobra here, we'll untab him and put him off to the side. You want to turn Death Cobra all the way around. You want to do the same thing with the propeller here. You want to take the propeller, untab that, and put this off to the side. So step number 2, you have Death Cobra's head right here. It's on a panel. You hinge it right there. You want to take that head. You want to flip it all the way back into the cockpit just like that. Step number 3, you have his fist right there and right there. Take his fist, you want to flip it right into the forearm just like that. Do that to the other fist and flip it right into the forearm just like that. But step number 4, this whole bottom assembly right here, you have a hinge joint right there. You want to take that whole bottom assembly and bring it down just like that. But step number 5, you have his legs right there. You want to take his legs and you want to open them up just like that and just like that. So step number 6, in the right leg right here, you have this panel. You have a hinge joint right there. You want to take that panel and you want to open it up just like that. So step number 7, you take the leg piece now. You want to pull it slightly out just like that, and it kind of reveals Liokaiser's fist. It creates a little bit of clearance for the heel right here. Do that to the other side to the other piece, kind of bring it out just like that. So step number 8, you want to turn Death Cobra all the way around. You have his heels right there. Since you created that clearance, now you can flip that heel right into the leg just like that. You want to do that to the other side, you flip that piece right in just like that. But step number 9, with that leg piece, you want to collapse it right over the thigh just like that. Go and do that to the other side to the other piece and collapse right over the thigh just like that. So step number 10, you have that panel right here. You want to go and take that panel, you want to close it up just like that. So step number 11, you want to take these leg pieces now. You want to go ahead and tab them together just like that. So step number 12, you want to take this fist now. You want to turn this fist all the way around just like that. So step number 13, you want to go and grab the propeller now. We're going to take the propeller and you want to straighten it out just like that. You want to take that propeller now, and you get that larger peg right there, and you get that larger porthole. You want to put it right into that porthole just like that. This is step number 14. You want to take this tail piece now, you want to bring it all the way down just like that. It's in the 15th and final step. You want to turn Death Cobra all the way around. You have this white piece right here. You want to take this white piece and pry it open just like that. And now you have Death Cobra as Liokaiser's left arm. I'm going to go ahead and convert Death Cobra from its robot mode all the way to Liokaiser's shoulder cannon. The first step of that transformation, on Death Cobra's chest you have Cobra. You take Cobra here, you want to untab him and put him off to the side. You want to turn Death Cobra all the way around. You have this copter blade, you want to do the exact same thing. You want to untab this and put this off to the side. This is step number 2. You have this nose cone right here, you have a hinge joint right there. That nose cone, you want to untap it from the back. By that nose cone, you have a tab right there and right there. On Death Cobra's shoulders, you have a porthole right there and right there. You want to flip that nose cone over Death Cobra's head and tab it right into his shoulders, just like that. This is step number 3. You have his fist right there and right there. You want to take his fist and flip it right into his forearm, just like that. Do that to the other side of the other fist and flip it right into the forearm, just like that. This is step number 4. You have his bottom half right here, and you have a swivel joint right there. With this bottom half now, and you want to rotate it all the way around, just like that. This is step number 5. You have Death Cobra's right leg right here. You want to take this right leg, you want to slightly bring it out, just like that. This is step number 6. You have his heels right there and right there. You want to take his heels now and flip it right into the leg, just like that. Do that to the other side, take the other heel and flip it right into the leg, just like that. This is step number 7. You want to take the leg piece now and collapse it right over the fist, just like that. This is step number 8. That whole bottom assembly you just rotated, you want to rotate it back into place. So you want to take that piece, rotate it all the way around, just like that. So step number 9, you have this thigh piece right there and right there. You have a swivel joint right there and right there. With this leg piece, you want to bend it all the way up, just like that. Do that to the other side, the other leg piece, and bend it all the way up, just like that. So step number 10, right at the knee, you want to go and bend the leg again, just like that. It should look like it's in a seated position. Do that to the other side, to the other leg, and bend it down, just like that. This is step number 11. You have these 2 leg pieces here. In between these leg pieces, you have tabs and portholes. See, what you want to do now is you want to take leg pieces and tab them together, just like that. This is step number 12. You want to go and bring back Cobra now. You want to turn Cobra all the way around. You have this little tab right here. You have a hinge joint right there. You want to take this tab and flip it out so a larger tab is facing back, just like that. You want to take this tail piece here. You have another swivel or hinge joint right there. You want to take that tail piece. You want to bring it all the way down, just like that. Now you want to grab Death Cobra, turn him all the way around. You have this tail piece right here. And we're going to take Cobra now and plug him right into that tail piece, just like that. So step number 13, you have this whole entire tail piece now. You have a hinge joint right there. You want to take this tail piece and bring it all the way down, just like that. So in the 14th and final step, we're going to bring back his copter blade right here. You want to straighten it out just like that. You have this larger peg right here. And you have a large porthole on his back. You want to take that copter blade, plug it right into place just like that. And now you have Death Cobra in Liokaiser's shoulder cannon mode. Next, I'm going to take all these components, combine together, and form Liokaiser. The first step of the transformation, we have Kill Bison here. There's this black piece right here. You have a hinge joint, it's ratcheting hinge joint. You want to take this black piece and click it back a couple times just like that. I'm going to grab Drill Horn, do the same exact thing to that black piece, and click it back a couple times just like that. So step number 2, I'm going to grab Jadaga here. You have these thigh pieces right there and right there. When you turn him around, you have these slots right there and right there. I'm going to grab Drill Horn here because he forms the left leg. See that black piece, I want to put it right into that slot, just like that. Same thing with Kill Bison here. I'm going to grab that, take that black piece, and put it right into the other slot, just like that. Because step number 3, what you want to do next is you want to take this leg piece here and straighten it out, just like that. So step number 4, you're going to grab Liozak right here. On Liozak, you have this little slot right here. The back of Liozak, you have 2 tabs right there and right there. On Jadaga here, you have this little tab right here with these slotted grooves right there. And on his back right here, you have this porthole right there and right there. What they want you to take is Liozak here. They want you to go ahead and slide him right over that tab, push it all the way back, just like that. At the same time, you have Jadaga right here. You have those tabs and portholes. You want to go ahead and tab that right into place. At the same time, you want to foot the tab right into the top of the car, just like that. And step number 5, you have these hip panels right there and right there. You want these hip panels, and you want to go ahead and secure it and push it back into place, just like that. And step number 6, You have Duddigo's arms right here, and inside these arms right here, you have a tab right there, and you have a porthole right there. You want to swing this arm up, and you want to tab it right into place just like that. We'll do that to the other side to the other arm. You want to swing it up. You want to make sure it tabs right into place just like that. Because in step number 7, we're going to grab Gaia here. There's this black piece right here. There's this white piece right here, and all you have to do is take that black piece and slide it right over that white piece just like that. So you have Hellbat here, you have that black piece, you want to go and take that white piece right here, and you want to go ahead and slide it right over place just like that. Here's the 8th and final step. You want to go and grab Hawk right here. You want to turn around Liokaiser here, you have that porthole right here, you have that tab right there. You want to take Hawk here, and you want to go ahead and tab him into place just like that. We're going to do the same with Koromi right here. You want to turn him around. He has a tab right there. He has a porthole right on Hellbat. You want to take Koromi here. You go and tab him right into place just like that. Next, you want to go and grab Lion here. Lion, you get that little tab right there. On Dodigo, you have that porthole. And you want to go ahead and finagle it. Make sure it goes right into place just like that. And now I have Liokaiser in his full robot mode. I have Liokaiser on my display table, so I'm going to go over some of his play features and accessories. He has a lot going on there, trust me. First by talking about Death Cobra, and as you can see, Death Cobra is already converted into Liokaiser's left arm. In order to combine him with Liokaiser, the first of that transformation, we'll take Hellbat here, we'll unclip him from the shoulder joint just like that. Take Hellbat, put him off to the side for now. Step number 2, we'll take Death Cobra now. You have this little piece right here, it's a little clip. Get that shoulder joint right there, you want to take that clip and put that right over the shoulder joint just like that. This is step number 3. You want to go and grab Cobra. We'll flip Cobra over here, you have that 5mm peg right there. Turn Liokaiser all the way around. On Death Cobra's form right here, you have a 5mm porthole. With a Cobra now, plug him right into Death Cobra just like that. And now you have Liokaiser combined with Death Cobra as his left arm. Very cool. Nice little replacement for Hellbat. We all know that's not canon to the Transformers Victory series because Hellbat did away with Death Cobra before he even had the chance to join the Chest Force team and in Japan, the Breast Force team. So this wasn't really a thing that happened in the series, I believe, from what I can recall. He did not transform into his arm or into the next segment, a cannon. So I'm going to go ahead and take Death Cobra, unclip him, put him off to the side, and off camera I'm going to convert him into his cannon. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring back Hellbat, and I'm going to clip Hellbat right into place just like he was before. And now you have Liokaiser fully combined once again. But there is a process to convert Liokaiser so that he can arm Death Cobra as his cannon. In the first of that transformation, you have these little red pieces right there, and they're on a hinge joint. You can see it clearly on the back side. So I'm going to take that piece, and I'm going to rotate it forward just like that. And I'm going to do that to this piece. It's kind of hidden behind this wing. I'm going to take that piece and flip it forward just like that. Because in step number 2, you want to turn Liokaiser all the way around. You have all these little chest animals that are plugged throughout various parts of his body. They ask that you take all these chest animals and untab them and put them all off to the side. Going to Komori, the Hawk here, and you don't want to forget about Horn and Bison. Take those two and put them off to the side. Then step number 3, on Hawk here, you have these wings right there and right there. Once these wings, you want to tab them right in the form, just like that. Do that to the other wing and tab right into the form, just like that. Then step number 4, you have this front wing piece right here. You want to take that, hinge joint right there. You want to fold it forward, just like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and take Liokaiser and put him off to the side. Step number 5, I want to go ahead and bring back Death Cobra. And as you can see, I converted Death Cobra over to his cannon mode off camera to kind of save a little bit of time. You'll note there are various portholes around his body. You got one right there, one right there, one right there, one down here, one back here, and one up here. Well, what they want to do now is plug in the various chest animals into these portholes. And I'm going to go according to the instructions. We got Komori here. That Komori has that 5mm peg. The instructions tell you to plug him into that porthole right there. So I'm going to go ahead and take that, Plug him right in that form, just like that. Next chest I'm going to bring in is Bison here. Back of Bison, you get that 5mm peg. On the leg right here, that 5mm porthole. You want to take Bison, you want to go and plug him in, just like that. Next chest ammo you want to grab is Jaga. Back at Jaga right here, you have that little 5mm peg. Top of tailwind, you get that 5mm porthole. Go and take that and you plug them in just like that. Step number 6, you want to flip over Death Cobra. And next chest ammo you want to grab is Hawk. Back at Hawk here, you have that 5mm peg. Just like you did with Komori here, you want to plug them right in the form, just like that. Next chest I want to go and grab is Horn. Back of Horn here, you have that 5mm peg, and just like you did with Bison here, you want to plug them right into the other part of the leg, just like that. And the final ammo you want to grab is Lion here. Back of Lion, you have that 5mm peg. You want to take him now, you want to plug him right into the bottom of the tail, just like that. And now you have Death Cobra converted into his cannon. But I'm going to put this off to the side real quick. In the 7th and final step, we're going to bring back in Liokaiser and Death Cobra. And you want to go ahead and mount Death Cobra on Liokaiser's shoulder. You do that because underneath Death Cobra here, you have a porthole right there, and you have a tab right there. Well, on Liokaiser here, on top of Hawk right here, you have a peg right there, and on one of his wings, you have that slot of porthole right there. I'm not going to go ahead and force that tab into this porthole because I don't want to cause any paint damage, nor do I want any green scuffing on this wing. So I'm going to let it rest in this porthole. I'm not going to force it in. But I am going to take this little peg right there and put it into the bottom of Death Cobra, which you do right there. So I'm going to go ahead and take Death Cobra, and I'm going to mount him right on top of his peg, just like that. I'm going to rest the peg into that slot porthole. Not going to force it in because, like I said, I don't want to cause any damage. And now you have Death Cobra armed on Liokaiser as his shoulder cannon. Very, very cool. And as you can see, let me get a little closer in there. The peg does keep it secure, but it's not super secure. But I don't know if any fans or any collectors are going to display Death Cobra as his cannon because he is non-canon to the Transformers Victory series. Because, like I said earlier on, many times, Hellbat did it with Death Cobra before he even had the opportunity to form part of Liokaiser or become this canon here. Just a nice little bonus that they included with this set here where you can utilize Death Cobra as part of this entire set, which I think is really cool because it is a 7-team combiner team that doesn't really need him as part of the body, so they made him a weapon, which is really, really cool. But I'm going to take this and put this off to the side because the next thing I want to talk about is his electromagnetic nunchucks. And there's a lot of pieces and there's a lot of assembly required. But before I fully assemble those nunchucks, you can also assemble the nunchucks into 6 individual weapons for each one of the Task Force members. And I say 6 because we all know one dies during the course of victory. But when we assemble the spear, you take the pole here. The pole is very nicely done. It's like molded out like a metallic silver plastic where it has those speckles in them where it gives it that metallic luster. You also have the arrowhead here. You take the arrowhead here, and bottom of the arrowhead you have a little porthole. Take that spear, you plug it right in just like that. But I'm going to go ahead and bring in Death Cobra, and he's my guinea pig for today. And you take his hand now, you got a 5mm porthole in his fist. The entire pole is a 5mm peg. You slide it right into his fist just like that, and now you have him armed with his spear. Very, very cool. Well, I'm going to take him, put him off to the side, because now I'm going to go ahead and fully assemble the electromagnetic nunchuck. First, you want to grab the spear here, mill that pole. I'm not sure if you guys see it. There's this little lined groove that surrounds this entire pole. Well, you want to go and grab the spiked collar here, mill the spiked collar. You have this 5mm porthole. The entire pole is actually a 5mm peg. I'm going to slide that collar so it goes right over that lined groove, just like that. Next piece you want to go grab is this comp link. It's connected by a chain right here. It's a plastic chain where it has actual individual links where it has lots of articulation here. At the end of the comp link here, you have a little porthole. I'm going to grab the pole here and plug it right in the porthole, just like that. I'm going to grab another pole here, and I went ahead and put the spike on just to save a little bit of time. Take that pole and plug it in the other end of the comp link right here. And to save even more time, I went and assembled the other side of the nunchucks. So all we have to do is take that pole, plug into that comp link, because as you can see, each individual pole has its spike connected by a coupling. Each end has an arrowhead. Very, very cool. Lots of cool playability with this weapon here. And a nice thing too is you get 4 of these poles here that actually assemble the electromagnetic nunchucks. You get 6, and that's because they want to make sure you have at least 6 spears if you want to individually display your Chess Force members. But I'm going to put this off the side and bring back Liokaiser. As you can see, I went ahead and converted Liokaiser back to his standard mode where he isn't prepped up for the shoulder cannon mode. And I also took the chest animals here and plugged them back into various parts of the body up here and in the leg too. So I'm going to go ahead and prep Liokaiser so he can arm himself with those electromagnetic nunchucks. And to do that, we can get these fists right here. They got 2 hinge joints right here, so there's 2 points of articulation. You open the tip of the fingers and the knuckles right there. And on the hand right here, you have a makeshift 5mm porthole so you can still peg in weapons with the fist still open. You want to open up the other fist, just like that. Then you want to take the arms here, you want to bend them right at the elbow, just like that. And just like that, you kind of want to bring them out a little bit too, so it doesn't look too stiff. Next, I'm going to go ahead and bring the electromagnetic nunchucks. I'm going to make sure the middle part's folded at the bottom here. You want to make sure that he pegs himself right at the top of those poles, just like that. And it might take a little bit of force, but they do fit in there. Then you can go ahead and close the fist around it, just like that. I'll go and rotate the fist over. Do the same thing with this one right here, so the pole can go right into his fist, just like that. It seems like on Hellbat, a little bit easier than Skyhawk right there, or Gaiahawk. But now you have Liokaiser armed with his electromagnetic nunchucks. It's very menacing, just like he did in the series. Let's slide it up just a little bit. Very, very cool. We're gonna go ahead and take Liokaiser and put him off to the side. But the next test I want to bring in is his display stand. And this display stand has lots of different functions. It functions as individual display stands for each one of the Chess Force members, but also they combine together because there's 2 other pieces that you have to clip together to form the massive display stand that you use for Liokaiser. But I'm going to show you the individual ways to use display stands because I'm going to grab the display arm right here. You want to make sure that this little sliding tab is in the front here. Go to the bottom of the stand and put it right in that big porthole in the back, just like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab Death Cobra. And right now I have Death Cobra in his vehicle mode. Bottom of Death Cobra here, in the back, you have this little sliding groove right there. You want to take that tab now, you want to slide right in that groove, just like that. And now you have Death Cobra displayed in his vehicle mode. Very cool. The unfortunate part is you only get 3 of these stands. They do combine together to form that larger stand, but it'd be much nicer if they had 7 individual stands so you have all the opportunity to display each one of the Chess Force members individually in either their vehicle mode or robot mode, which I'll get into right now. So I'm going to Death Cobra, put them off to the side, because there's a way to convert this display stand where you can display the robots. Because in the back of this stand here, you get this little tab right there. So you want to go and untab that arm, swing it around, so that tab is facing forward. Now, with some movie magic, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Death Cobra, but in his robot mode. Voila! Here he is in his robot mode. Back of his robot mode right here, the back of his legs right here, in his crotch area, you have this little porthole right there. You want to take Death Cobra now and set him right on top of the display stand so that tab goes right into that porthole just like that. And now you have Death Cobra displayed on the display stand in his robot mode. Very cool. But like I said, unfortunately you only get 3 of these stands. And I think the main sole purpose of these stands is to combine it into the larger stand. So I'm going to take Death Cobra, put him off to the side once again, and I'm going to take this control arm and pull this off. Before I combine this stand together to make that larger stand, there is a way to store your electronic magnetic nunchucks on this display stand. Either by turning the stand over here, you have some tabs, grooves, and some portholes. I'm going to start off by taking one of the spears right here. I'm going to slide it right into place, just like that. Because I'm going to go ahead and take the other spear and do the exact same thing. Put that right there, just like that. Now you want to go ahead and grab the arrowhead. Get this tab on the arrowhead, and you have this little porthole right there. You want to take that arrowhead, you want to go ahead and tab that right into place, just like that. Do that to the other side, grab that other arrowhead, and tab it right into place, just like that. You get these little tabs right there and right there, right there and right there. That's meant for the chains for the nunchucks. So I'm gonna go ahead and take those pieces, get little portholes on the bottom of those pieces. We're going to tab that right into place just like that. Do that to the other side, tab it in place just like that. I'm gonna grab the other chain here, do the exact same thing. Tab that right into place, and I'm gonna go ahead and take that piece and tab that right into place. Whoops, missed it. I'm going to try again. Tab that right into place. The next piece you want to bring in are these little spikes right here with the little hole in the middle. Get a tab right there and right there. So plug those in just like that. Do that to the other side. Plug it in just like that. And off camera, to save a little bit of time, I went ahead and did that to the other two pieces of the display stand. Just like that. And just like that. Because in order to combine the stand, there's little portholes right there. All three pieces of the stand. What you want to do is you want to take these pieces now, you want to form them into one big stand, just like that. Because right now, you have a bracket piece that's going to put all these pieces together. You take this little bracket piece here, you have a tab right there and right there, you have a porthole right there and right there. Go to that bracket piece, we'll go ahead and just plug it in together, just like that. It's not going in too easy for me for some reason. So I'm gonna go ahead and try it. Maybe this way. Give me a little bit of a hard time. Maybe it's designed for. I'm not sure why it's not going in as easy as it should. Line them up again and push them together. No. Yeah, there we go. So you're better off just lining them up on the ground and pushing them together. Just like that. Now you form the mega stand here. Now you have all the pieces of the electromagnetic nunchuck stored in his display stand. Now you want to take the display stand. You get this narrow piece in the back here. You want to make that face backwards. Because now you want to go grab one of the arms. I know you get 3 of these arms. So you got 2 extra arms that you're going to have to pack away if you're going to display your Liokaiser in his combined mode. And now what you want to do is you want to make sure this groove piece, or this tab, sliding tab right here, is facing forward. Just like that. Because now you're going to have to grab this adapter right here. Actually, I made a mistake. That piece actually is, I did it correctly. You have to grab the adapter, you have this porthole right here, you have this peg facing back. I'm going to take that adapter and push that up just like that. Now what you're going to do is you're going to grab your Liokaiser now. And on the back of Liokaiser here, you have two portholes right there and right there. You got a tab right there and right there. You want to line these tabs up perfectly. Plug the Liokaiser right in the display stand just like that. And now you have Liokaiser on his display stand. Very, very cool. But I'm going to take this, put this off to the side. I told you there was a lot of accessories with this project, but they're all welcome additions to this set. I mean, Tier 1 you unlock Death Cobra, Tier 2 you had the electromagnetic nunchucks, and Tier 3 you had the display stand. They're all nice additions to this set. I'm glad that we were able to get this entire package, and it includes the 6 individual Chess Force members along with their chess animals. So there is a lot of stuff going on with this figure and this set. A lot of play features, a lot of accessories, and I love it all. They all did a great job with this figure. But I had to stand corrected. When I showed you how to arm Liokaiser with the electromagnetic nunchucks earlier on, I had you force the hole into that little makeshift porthole. You don't have to do that because from what I've seen, it causes a little bit of a stress mark damage right there. So what I do is I just take the pole now, I just wrap the fingers around it, and it holds it right into place anyway. Just like that. You see there's no force, no pushing it into that porthole. This goes right into place just like that. But the thing with these electromagnetic nunchucks is they're designed exclusively for the Transformers Victory anime series. They were not an accessory that was included with the Generation 1 toy. The way you arm the Generation 1 toy was that on Kill Bison, you have this little turret right here. Well, the top part of the turret comes out, and you have the little missiles that used to lock the hips into place that were pegged right in top of the the turret. So you took the turret here, and this is an undocumented feature. This is not in the instructions, but this is the way you armed up for the Generation 1 toy. The little missiles that pegged on the top here, but you took the blaster and you put it right into that makeshift porthole, just like that. Put the fist around the handle, and now you have Liokaiser armed as if he appeared in the Generation 1 toy. Very cool play feature. And I love the fact that you're able to arm this turret onto Liokaiser. And I do have my Generation 1 Liokaiser on hand to do a side-by-side comparison. And a unique feature about the Generation 1 Liokaiser is this is the first time the Transformer toy line designed a 16 combiner team exclusive for this toy line. And you're wondering, well, what about Raiden and the Trainbots? Raiden Trainbots were actually ported over from the Daikon toy line, which is a pre-Transformer toy line, which Hasbro went to Japan and licensed and rebranded them as Transformers United States. The thing is, they were released along the same time as the Constructicons in Japan, but localization prevented it from being released in the United States because in Japan, a domestic way of transportation was trains. Well, in the United States, they didn't really use trains as a main source of transportation. So that kind of was, there was a fear that maybe the Trainbots would not go over with the kids because they'd be kind of confused a little bit by why are these trains, you know, people riding trains, because we didn't really ride in trains in the United States. Well, they went ahead and they bypassed it. They brought it out for Headmasters. Headmasters was again a Japanese exclusive series. So the Trainbots went over very well in that toy line, but until then you didn't really have a uniform team where all the team members were the exact same size, especially a 6-team combiner team, until the Chess Force team came out. Because with Scramble City, you had the main torso piece, which is much larger than its limbs. I mean, you had Motormaster, which was much larger than the other Stunticons. Same with Silverbolt. I mean, he was much larger than the other aerial bots. And they didn't look like a uniform team when you had them displayed on your toy shelf, because you had Silverbolt, which was really tall, and all the individual aerial bots, which was half its size. But here you have a 6-team combiner team where they're all pretty uniform, where all 6 robots and the robot mode are about the same size, and same for the vehicle mode. So that's very nice that they're able to do that. But Liokaiser are very untraditional, because when I first got him, I was wondering why the nose cone was backwards, because traditionally I would have figured that you can see the nose cone or the cockpit facing outwards, where here you have it folded over, but that was a design feature or design element that carried over with the animated model in the Transformers Victory cartoon series, which carried over to the HasLab project, because this HasLab project is primarily designed off of the animated model. I mean, a lot of design elements did carry on from the Generation 1 toy, as you can see. And the one other unique feature of Liokaiser is, usually when you had a combined figure, the limbs where you see the vehicle mode are always straight like that. And I just popped out Kill Bison, but he goes right back into place. So instead of having the pieces facing forward, they had the vehicle modes facing sideways, which is very untraditional at that point in time for Transformers. I do love how the way they have the arms combined, where they kind of lock in the back, and then you have the torso piece here from Jaruga, which is very nicely done. And you do see a lot of design elements. You see the Jaruga that kind of carried over, but when you flip it over, you see a lot of the same design elements. You see the nose cones facing down. You see the wing for the airplane. The wings are folded up here. You do not have the Chess Force animals here that are plugged into the back here. They don't have them whatsoever utilized in the combination mode for Liokaiser, which was nice that they were able to find a spot for the chess animals in the HasLab project. When you flip it over, I mean, a lot of similarities between the two figures. And as you can see, like I mentioned earlier on with the turret here, the top of the turret came out, but it's bolted on or screwed on, so it's a permanent piece of Kill Bison. Turn them all the way around, but it's very nice done combiner. I mean, still, scale comparison, this figure was very large for Generation 1. It's one of the larger figures for the original toy line, or the original lineup. Well, here you see that he's almost half the size of the HasLab project. So this figure is scaled real nice. I mean, scales really nicely with the other combiners for the Generation's toy line. So I'm going to take Liokaiser, put him off to the side, and I'm going to bring in probably the larger of the combiner teams, Devastator. And Devastator is still the largest combiner. I mean, he is a 16 combiner team also, just like Liokaiser. But I mean, he's the bulky construction vehicles. I mean, they did such a great job with this figure, and I kind of like this out better like that because that's how he appeared in the Generation 1 toy. Just a nicely done figure. I mean, the bulk right there. But I'm not going to stop there because he did have Superion here, which is a little bit smaller, and I also have Menasor right here. And as you can see, the side comparison, he's a little bit smaller than Liokaiser, but not too small. And I almost forget about the monster Predaking. Predaking is just so much bigger than the rest of them. I mean, he was designed for Combiner Wars, but I mean, in comparison to Liokaiser, I mean, he's still the largest combiner of them all. I mean, you can't even see him in the shot. I mean, next to Devastator and Menasor. I mean, these are all the combiners I have. I mean, I do have my Defensor and my Bruticus for Combiner Wars. And I do have some of the components for Bruticus, but I mean, I don't have them completely assembled, so I'm not going to display him in this display. I mean, like, look at Predaking. And Predaking is just huge. But this Predaking's a nice Predaking, and I know they just reissued him through HasLab or Hasbro Pulse, so I know that that there are not really any plans on re-updating him, and he is a great figure. I mean, there's really no need to update Predaking. I mean, look how large he is compared to Liokaiser. Bring him off to the side. I mean, just the size difference is very considerable. And if you guys follow Transformers lore through the Japanese continuity, you know that all 5 of these guys do work together in Zone, where they work with, I forget what the protagonist in that series is, but they all do don armor, including Trypticon, and they do some battles with all of them. I think even Abominus was in that whole team too. But I'll go ahead and take all these combiners and put them off to the side. Because, I mean, the combiners are awesome. I mean, I love collecting combiners. I kind of wish they would do something with Predaking, maybe downsize them, but that wouldn't really work because, I mean, each individual figure is a Voyager class figure, and it's a 5-team combiner team, so it's kind of harder to get a good scaling with Predaking, having that, you know, the way they designed this figure was a little bit different than most combiners. But I'm going to go ahead and take Superion, put him off to the side, because I want to go ahead and talk about Liokaiser for a second here. I mean, Liokaiser has lots of great points of articulation. He has the knee articulation. It's all ratcheting joints. He has thigh swivel, hip articulation, his elbow, shoulder. And as you can hear, it's all ratcheting. I don't know the head. The head's not ratcheting, but it's not even on a ball socket joint. It's on a swivel joint, so it doesn't go up and down. Oh, it does go up and down. It is kind of like a hinged swivel joint, which is pretty cool. But you got all these nice points of articulation. I mean, this figure has no hollow spacing in the back here. They're very careful. Even if inside the legs here, they give you the chest animal here. Kind of fills in that little gap for the, you know, as we saw earlier on the individual reviews of each one of these figures, that chest animal does a great job covering that hollow gap. I mean, even inside the forearms, you don't see any hollowing. So this figure is very hefty, very bulky. And like you said earlier on, you do have the option of having Death Cobra as part of his combination team, but I'm going to go ahead and bring in one other guest, and that is the Emperor Deathsaurus. I mean, with these HasLab Transformer projects, I have not been let down. I mean, just looking at the two figures next to each other, it's just fantastic. I mean, hopefully they'll bring in Road Caesar. That'll be really nice too, and I think that's more fit for a HasLab project also. I mean, I think they could have released Liokaiser as a domestic mainline figure. I think that would have sold really well because people just love combiners. Road Caesar might be a little different because, I mean, it's a 3-team combination team that has to scale up with Liokaiser, so I don't know how they're going to accomplish that. I mean, Deathsaurus, I mean, it's a fantastic figure. I mean, the Decepticons from the Victory series that they've done for the Generations toy line has just been fantastic. And if you're wondering what the Generations toy line is, anything with War for Cybertron, which has Siege, Earthrise, Kingdom. Then you have the Legacy toy line, which has all the Legacy lines. you have Age of the Primes, and you have the Studio Series. They're all scaled where they all kind of scale with each other, like they appeared on the cartoon series. Plus, the weaponry's all been uniformed, where 5mm pegged for most of the Transformers. But if you guys found any of the information in this video valuable, please like and share this video. Also, if you enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel, and while you're there, click the bell to be notified of any future videos. I want to thank you guys for watching Red Tail's Toy Collector Review. I'll check you guys out next time.